following is a special presentation of the World Baseball Classic. Baseball fans around the world and all the ships at sea, we are back in San Francisco, the home of the big Orlando Cepeda and the young, hopeful Orlando Cepeda. It has been a rock and roll World Baseball Classic, and the sense of the Caribbean spice is on end for this one. This is Game 39 of the World Baseball Classic 2013, and this one is for the championship as Puerto Rico takes on the Dominican Republic. Hi, everybody. Gary Thorne along with Rick Sutcliffe. It is game number 39. These two teams have already met twice. The Dominican has won both of them.
Well, the World Baseball Classic has simply been amazing this year. All that we need right now is a champion. We're going to have it shortly.
And you better believe that the Dominican Republic wants this badly. They have not lost here. They come in with a perfect record. They're trying to sweep the table.
Well, they have beaten the Puerto Rican team a couple of times, but neither one of those games mattered. Both teams were going to move on. This one matters.
No question of where the talent is. It lies with the Dominican Republic. Not that Puerto Rico doesn't have some, but this Dominican team's loaded.
Well, the closest thing this tournament has had to a complete team is the Dominican Republic team, but anything can happen in one game.
All right, we'll see what goes on in this one, and some great pregame ceremonies are going to be coming up for you on the field with some names that you will recognize and some great color to add to our World Baseball Classic coverage.
John Califra, the World Baseball Classic Symphony Orchestra.
I just want to get this done. I'm going to move this
Y primero, Puerto Rico.
¿Cómo? Ajá. Sí. Otro. Tiene montuno. Tiene montuno. Tiene montuno. Borinquen tiene montuno. Oye, yo borinquen yo le canto. Oye, mi borinquen yo le canto. Orgulloso yo me siento. Porque seguimos logrando. Porque si tiene montuno. Oye, boricua, oye, diga huepa, porque aquí le estamos cantando. Orgulloso yo me siento de ser boriqueño 100%. Oye, si tiene, porque si tiene montuno.
And now, the Dominican Republic.
Y ahora, República Dominicana.
Dominicana se viste de campeón. Dominicana se viste de campeón.
And now let's welcome
Dominicana se viste de campeón. Dominicana se viste de campeón. Y vamos a ganar, somos lo mejor. Esta niña verde, hay celebración. Dominicana se viste de campeón. Dominicana se viste de campeón. Jonrón de Tejeda, jonrón de Víctor y jonrón de Mesa se quedan campeón. Dominicana se viste
And
de
now let's
campeón.
welcome the two teams in this year's World Baseball Classic Championship game. And now let's meet the starters. First, for the visiting team, Puerto Rico.
Y ahora, los titulares para el juego de hoy. Primero, el equipo visitante, Puerto Rico.
First, the manager of Team Puerto Rico, Edwin Rodriguez.
El manager de Puerto Rico, Edwin Rodríguez.
Leading off, center fielder, number 16, Angel Pagan.
Bateando primero y jugando en el jardín central, número 16, Ángel Pagán.
Batting second, second baseman, number 19, Irving Falú.
Bateando segundo y jugando en la segunda base, número 19, Irving Falú.
Batting third, designated hitter, number 15, Carlos Beltran.
Bateando tercero, el bateador designado, número 15, Carlos Beltrán.
Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 4, Yadier Molina.
El cuarto bate, el receptor número 4, Yadier Molina.
Batting fifth, at shortstop, number 14, Mike Aviles.
El quinto bate, en el campo corto, número 14, Mike Avilés.
Batting sixth, in right field, number 51, Alexis Rios.
Bateando sexto, en el jardín derecho, número 51, Alexis Ríos.
Batting seventh, first baseman, number 44, Carlos Rivera.
Bateando séptimo, en la primera base, número 44, Carlos Rivera.
Batting eighth, at third base, number 26, Angel Gonzalez.
Bateando octavo, en la tercera base, número 26, Ángel González.
Batting ninth, in left field, number 13, Jesus Feliciano.
Bateando noveno, en el jardín izquierdo, número 13, Jesús Feliciano.
And tonight's starting pitcher, warming up in the bullpen, number 31, Giancarlo Alvarado.
El lanzador de esta noche y calentando en el bullpen, número 31, Giancarlo Alvarado.
And now, for tonight's home team, the Dominican Republic.
Y ahora, para el equipo de casa, República Dominicana.
And first, the manager of the Dominican Republic, Tony
el manager de República Dominicana, Tony Peña.
And leading off, shortstop, number 7, Jose Reyes.
Bateando primero, el campo corto, número 7, José Reyes.
Batting second, designated hitter, number 2, Eric Ibar.
Bateando segundo, el bateador designado, número 2, Eric Ibar.
Batting third, at second base, number 24, Robinson Cano.
Bateando tercero, en la segunda base, número 24, Robinson Cano.
Batting cleanup, first baseman, number 10, Edwin Encarnacion.
Bateando cuarto, en la primera base, número 10, Edwin Encarnación.
Batting fifth, third baseman, number 13, Henley Ramirez.
Bateando quinto, en la tercera base, número 13, Henley Ramírez.
Batting sixth, in right field, number 17, Nelson Cruz.
Bateando sexto, en el jardín derecho, número 17, Nelson Cruz.
Batting seventh, the catcher, number 41, Carlos Santana.
Bateando séptimo, el receptor, número 41, Carlos Santana.
Batting eighth, left fielder, number 14, Moises Sierra.
Bateando octavo, en el jardín izquierdo, número 14, Moisés Sierra.
Batting ninth, center fielder, number 30, Alejandro de Asa.
Bateando noveno, en el jardín central, número 30, Alejandro de Asa.
And tonight's starting pitcher, warming up in the bullpen, number 21, Samuel De Duno.
Y el lanzador de esta noche, calentando en el bullpen, número 21, Samuel De Duno.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for the national anthems of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, followed by the anthem for host nation, the United States of America. And first, the national anthem for Puerto Rico.
Ahora escuchemos el himno nacional de Puerto Rico.
And now, the national anthem for the Dominican Republic.
Y ahora el himno nacional de República Dominicana.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Star-Spangled Banner.
Y ahora el himno nacional de los Estados Unidos.
I think that's why the word bravo was put into the dictionary. Members of the Symphony Orchestra from San Francisco. Coming up next, the championship game of the 2013 World Baseball Classic. Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. First pitch in a minute. As the 2013 World Baseball Classic comes to a close, we have witnessed some of the most unlikely baseball stories, from countries showing their baseball might to those going down in surprising failure. But like any great book, tonight the final chapter is about to be written as the teams from Puerto Rico and the Dominican are looking for that storybook ending. From the first pitch of the tournament, the team from the Dominican Republic has looked loose and eager to prove they wouldn't be going home early or empty-handed, with the weight of not only their baseball-crazed country, but that of Dominican expats around the world. Tony Pena now has his star-laden team one win away from forever erasing the embarrassment of their past failures. Team Puerto Rico's unexpected trip to the finals was fueled by the performances of MLB World Series veterans and a proud contingent of diehard fans who made sure they'd be both seen and heard. For Puerto Rico, a return to the island as champions could be the spark that ignites baseball fires that burned so brightly during the time of Roberto Clemente. Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic take aim on the WBC trophy next. And we welcome you back to San Francisco as the fireboat putting a little water up in McCovey Cove just outside the ballpark, and a great look in as we get set for this game tonight. This is it. This is for the championship 2013 World Baseball Classic, and all of the Caribbean flavor involved in this one, with Puerto Rico taking on the Dominican Republic. Gary Thorne, Rick Sutcliffe, great to have all of you with us.
Well, we know that the Dominican Republic is a perfect 7-0 as they come into the championship game. But we also know that Puerto Rico, in their last 3 elimination games, has sent home Italy, sent home the United States, and just recently sent home Japan. They're trying to do it one more time.
And it would be an upset, because the Dominican clearly is going to be the heavily favored team. For Team Puerto Rico, here's how they got here.
Well, for me, it all starts and ends with Yadier Molina. He has dominated the World Baseball Classic, not only behind the plate, but beside it. Really, kind of the unsung hero has been Aviles with 9 RBIs in 8 games. Puerto Rico's only scored 23 runs in this tournament. And finally, the bat waking up of Alex Rios, the big 2-run homer in the 7th inning against Japan. He also followed it up with a base hit in the 8th inning, so he might be getting hot. and then that baseball just tends to find Pagan. It has come down into his glove the last 2 elimination games, USA and Japan. It needs to find his glove a lot tonight.
So for Puerto Rico in the first round, they went 2-1, allowing 7 runs. The second round, a 2-2 record. Starter ERA at 2.75 got them through it. And the semifinal, a big upset over Japan, 3-1. Alex Rios with that 2-run homer. They have been able to pitch their way through. The big names for them have been Pagan at the top of the order with that 367 average, 11 hits. Molina behind the plate and at it, the 304 average. He's thrown out 3 of 4. You just cannot run on him. And Mike Aviles, the understated story, with that 333 average and the 9 RBIs. Over a third of the runs that have crossed the plate have come because of his work.
Well, they haven't dominated anybody. They've done just enough to win, and it's ironic. They're playing in the championship game. They have scored 23 runs, but they've allowed their opponents to score the same number, just enough to win.
For the Dominican Republic, they come in undefeated, 7-0. There's their leader.
Well, and the number 1 reason is Robinson Cano. Gary, it seems like every night he sets another World Baseball Classic record. He's done it with the number of hits. He's done it with the number of total bases. And there's the igniter. He's the one that turns on the lights, is what Tony Pena said in Jose Reyes. Well, if he turns on the lights, this is the guy that turns them off. Fernando Rodney with 6 saves. They've only got 7 wins in this tournament, and who knows where that arrow lands. It might be headed to the Dominican Republic with the championship trophy on it.
No team has ever gone undefeated in the tournament. The first round, 3-0. They outscored opponents 19-8. The second round, 3-0 again, allowing only 1 run in the last 26 innings. And then in the semifinal here, it wasn't easy against the team the Dominican was heavily favored against, but they won against the Netherlands 4-1 with the 4 runs in the 5th inning. There are the big numbers for them. Cano's been the MVP of the first 2 pools, maybe the MVP of the entire World Baseball Classic, depending on tonight. But look at the average, 517. Reyes hitting at 290, top of the order at table center, evidenced by the fact he has scored 6 runs. And Rodney has pitched in all 7 games, allowing no runs and picking up the save opportunity in every chance that he's had. As in all baseball games, vital your starting pitching.
Well, we've got a lot of big names in this ball game tonight. We've got MVPs, we've got all-stars. Not so much as far as the starting pitchers are concerned. This is going to be a huge key right here. But both of them have pitched extremely well. And the number that jumps out at me is the lack of walks. They need to put the ball in play, use the terrific defenses that they have, and use this huge ballpark to their advantage.
Giancarlo Alvarado's become kind of their unsung star. He's a 35-year-old veteran with not a lot of major league experience. And for Edwin Rodriguez's team, this is a tremendous opportunity. Their entire country is following their actions now, and as each game has gone along and they've progressed, the country of Puerto Rico has been there on the island to watch them play. And the memory, of course, of Clemente gets raised every time they're playing baseball.
You know what, Gary, before this thing started, I asked Alfonso Soriano of the Chicago Cubs, what does this mean? What is this ball game between the Dominican and Puerto Rico? What does it mean? He said, you know what, the players love each other, but for the fans, this is like the Yankees and the Red Sox, and he would know that as well. Well, I tell you what, for 9 innings, it's going to be like that on the field between these players.
We remind you again that these 2 teams' long history of competition goes back to the Caribbean World Series that started in 1948 when it was first set up. The championship teams from the different countries in the Caribbean play in a World Series which is very meaningful to them. And these 2 countries have won more of those Caribbean World Series games than anyone else. So they know a lot about the competitiveness regarding the names on the front of the jerseys. The Dominican team will be home because of their 7-0 record. Puerto Rico comes in 5-3 overall in the Classic. And here's a look at the lineup for Puerto Rico. It'll be Pagan at the top, Falou and Beltran, Molina, Aviles, Rios, Rivera, Andy Gonzalez, and Jesus Feliciano, the 9.
Well, I think the thing that happened to Alex Rios in the first game against Japan has got to happen tonight for Carlos Beltran. His offense has got to wake up if they expect to win this ball game.
See what they can do with it. And on the mound, trying to shut them down, is a pitcher with major league experience last year who's trying to get back to the major league level this year.
Well, there's been a lot of great things that have happened recently for Samuel Deduno. This guy got to the big leagues last year, as you said, with Minnesota. He won more games than he lost, a 6-5 record in 15 starts. And you take a look at the 2 starts that he's had here. He had the win against Spain when he went 4 innings, did not walk anybody, didn't give up a run. And then the no decision against USA when he went toe-to-toe with the National League Cy Young Award winner a year ago, R.A. Dickey. He got roughed up in that first inning. He walked in a run, but settled down after that, completed 4 innings. Gary, as you know, with 7 strikeouts, including the last 3 guys that he faced.
And the defense behind them has done well, committing only 4 errors in the ball games they played. Sierra gets the start in left field, a big difference in the last game they played. I say Sierra has been in and out of that left field position. Diaz has been in, starting in center in all their games. Nelson Cruz will be around in right. Hanley Ramirez is back at third. He's DH2. Reyes has made all the starts at short. Gano all the starts at second, and the same at first with Encarnacion. And of course, behind the plate, Carlos Santana. He has been behind the plate for all of the games as a starter. Now, the interesting thing about Deduno is last year, as Rick mentioned, he went 6-5 with Minnesota, but they cut him from the 40-man roster. He has signed a minor league deal with the Minnesota Twins, trying to earn his way back to the major league level. So as happens in this World Baseball Classic, there are a number of occasions where the performance in this classic matters to the individual player trying to make a statement, and Deduno's one of them.
Well, and I don't think you can put any more pressure on a youngster. And at 29 years of age, he's young as far as experience is concerned. But you know what? Before the game today, Gary, as you know, both managers were brought in by Major League Baseball talking about the weather, the possibility of rain. That seems to have gone away now.
You see Tony Pena, the Yankee bench coach, on the left of the Dominican Republic, and Edwin Rodriguez on the right, former manager with the Marlins. He'll be at AA ball this year managing, and the 2 of them set to go here. Pagan, the leadoff batter, 1-0 delivery on the way to him, and that'll be taken inside. Deduno has had problems with control. Last year he walked 53, striking out 57 in 79 innings. Not a good ratio. Pagan is taking all the way, and that's going to be inside, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. He has led this ball club with 11 hits here in the World Baseball Classic. 3-0 delivery to him, and that'll be in there. Now, the weather that Rick was talking about, the reason that matters, this game's going to get finished tonight one way or the other. And if it only goes 5 innings and it rains or the weather forces the end of it, that's where it will end, and the lead at that point will be the winner. That ball's a base hit into right field. Boy, is he hot. Pagan has just loved this classic. A dozen hits for him now.
And there's no question he loves this ballpark. And these San Francisco Giant fans tonight love him. When you fell behind 3-0, you finally threw a strike on the 3-1 pitch. I mean, Pagan knows what's coming. He can cheat on that fastball. And when you're swinging the bat as well as he is, you're as talented and gifted as he is, that's trouble for the Dominican Republic.
So the leadoff man is on. Base stealing wise, we've seen a little running here as the games have moved along. We'll see how they play this. They're looking for the bunt. In at third base is Ramirez. Falou, a speedster switch hitter, will take the pitch for a strike. He is hitting only 143. He can handle the bat. And let's see if Rodriguez wants to play this early on. He's trying to get the early lead and put a sacrifice down. Throw over, and Pagan back to the bag.
You know, we've seen Falou attempt to sacrifice bunt. We saw him one time try to bunt for a base hit. He just did not look real comfortable doing that.
He's picked up a couple of sacrifices overall in the Classic. Tries to drop one again and misses it. Ways of plays you just got to make.
And I think at this point you got to forget about that with him. You might have to move him out of that number 2 spot because he's just not good at bunting the baseball. He's much better as an offensive player when you turn him loose.
He is 2 for 5 in the first 2 games that have been played against the Dominican. And an 0-2 count. Concern over there at first base with Pagan. 6 out of 8 in stolen bases for Puerto Rico in this Classic. And Pagan has gone 2 for 2. Falou on a chopper. Only play is going to be at first from foul territory. Play is made. That's a tough one. Doduno had to throw that over the base runner. Falou gets the runner down there.
He had a choice on this ball. It truly looked like after the second hop it was going to go foul. It comes down right here. It started to kick towards the line, but he did do a great job there. He comes up with it. I'll happily take the out here, and just kind of puts a little bit of arc on top of it, getting it over the base runner to the first baseman, Encarnacion.
So 1 away. Beltran coming to the plate. Beltran has had his problems. He's got a runner in scoring position looking for an RBI. He's had only 1. You see he's hitting only .207, but he's had 4 doubles and 4 runs scored. And that'll be foul back, so Puerto Rico gets the first scoring opportunity of the ball game.
What a career Carlos Beltran has put together. You think back to 1999 when he broke into the big leagues with the Kansas City Royals as the Rookie of the Year. He was actually telling me in batting practice that he thinks at some point in the not too distant future he needs to get to the American League.
Time has come to DH.
Get off of those legs a little bit more, get out of the outfield, and continue to swing the bat.
See the 157. That's a very poor number. You're trying to get runs up on the board, which this team has struggled to do. Beltran will take it for a strike. He has not had a hit in the 2 games played against the Dominican. He is 0 for 8 at the plate. They really need his bat in this championship game. If he can come through here, a couple of RBIs and a couple of hits, it'll wipe out what he hasn't done in the rest of the Classic. But he's not going to get it done here. Tag is put on. Doduno gets the strikeout.
You know, it's almost like throughout this whole series he's just geared for nothing but fastballs. A constant diet of off-speed pitches. It was the slider for the second strike that he took, and then the bigger, slower breaking ball, the curveball, picking up the 3rd strike in the second out.
So he's out of there, and that will bring up Molina. Yadier Molina getting an opportunity. He hasn't played the games against Puerto Rico. Breaking balls in there for a strike. Molina has had a .304 batting average, games against the Dominican rather. Now he's got an RBI opportunity. He too has been picking up the singles. He's got a good average. He's had 7 hits, all singles. Single right here will get it done. That one goes off the end of the bat and foul, and it's 0-2.
You know, it's hard to believe, but Molina again hitting over 300. Yadier has not driven in a run yet in this World Baseball Classic, and I think a big part of that is the fact that Beltran just continues to struggle.
Doesn't get anything going in front of him here in this Classic. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and the inside corner strike. Doduno, some pretty good location right there. Gets a couple of strikeouts, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. A lot of breaking balls thrown in that first inning, and just kind of dropped that one in over the inside corner. 35-year-old right-hander on the mound, ready to go, and he will face Reyes leading it off, the switch hitter. Here's Jose Reyes, and he will take the pitch outside for a ball. Reyes hitting .290 with a home run and 3 RBIs. None of that has come against Puerto Rico. He is 0 for 9 against Puerto Rico in the 2 games played. That pitch is there for a strike, 1-1.
Alvarado, this is his 3rd start in this World Baseball Classic. He opened round 1 with a victory over Spain. They're hoping he's able to close it out with a victory here tonight.
Last 3 years he has pitched in the Japanese League with the Hiroshima Carp and the Bay Stars. Here's the 1-1 delivery. That ball's hit in the air to right field, hard near the warning track and wall, and it'll take a hop. He's going to go for 2. Here's the throw, not in time. Off the wall and right, and Reyes has got a double.
One of the best leadoff men in all of baseball, and he has been when he's been healthy. And the reason for that, his ability to put himself into scoring position. Over 70 stolen bases 1 year in his career, lots of doubles, lots of triples, and that would have been a home run just about in any other ballpark in baseball. And Gary, as you know, talking to Tony Pena before the game, he said that the key to this victory tonight is to strike first. And the best way to do that is to have Reyes standing at second base with nobody out.
He is tied for the lead in runs scored with the ball club. He has scored 6 times. Ibar back in the lineup in the number 2 spot. He is the DH. He also has scored 6 runs. He bunts, and it's a beauty. They got to go to first base, a sacrifice, playing for 1 right there. Ibar gets that runner moved up. Here's the rest of the lineup for the Dominican. Following Ibar, Cano, Encarnacion, Ramirez, Cruz, Santana, Moises Sierra, De Aza.
Well, big league names from top to bottom there for Tony Pena. The one you might not recognize is Moises Sierra, but after what we saw last night, you're going to get to know that name real well before long.
And now here comes the MVP of the first 2 rounds that he played in. Robinson Cano having an amazing World Baseball Classic, just as he intended. His .517 average, obviously just phenomenal. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 4 doubles, 5 runs scored, and he's got Reyes at third base and the RBI opportunity.
I'd put him on right now.
Yep, they're going to. There's no sense giving him a chance to hit with the damage that he has done. It also sets up a potential double play with Encarnacion coming to the plate. Cano's 15 hits extends the record for most in a single World Baseball Classic. He's just been such a terror at the plate. You can't let him beat you.
You're not going to get him out. I mean, he's on base at least half of the time when he swings the bat. He's also walked a couple of times. He got an on-base percentage of over 600. This is absolutely the right move. It just doesn't mean that it's going to work.
So runners at first and third now for the right-hander. There are the numbers for Alvarado.
He has played all over. He loves the game of baseball, obviously at 35 years of age. The last few years over in Japan. He's played in Taiwan. He's played in Mexico, of course, Puerto Rico, independent ball. He has never played in a game this important.
Runners at first and third. The home run hitting, Encarnacion coming up looking for his first of the Classic. Hitting .250. He's had 4 RBIs. 1 down. And the pitch will be taken outside for a ball. Encarnacion 3 for 6 in the previous 2 games that these 2 teams have played. The Dominican Republic won the ball games against Puerto Rico 4-2 in the first round and 2-0 in the second round. Back in 06 in the World Classic, Puerto Rico had a 7-1 win over the Dominican. That ball's going to get a run in, maybe more. It's going to fall in and go all the way to the wall. Pagan giving chase. Reyes has scored. Cano will score. Our 2 RBI double, and the Dominican leads it 2-0.
That's a chance you take. You were hoping to get a double play out of it. Instead, the Dominican Republic gets the double when Encarnacion is able to fill that gap. What a terrific job of hitting this ball on the inner half of the plate. I really think that Molina wanted that action, the movement on that fastball back into the hands of Encarnacion. When it leaked back towards the heart of the plate, he was right on top of that and makes Puerto Rico pay for the intentional pass.
His first extra base hit of the Classic and a big one. Here's Ramirez, still only 1 away. 2 runs in on 2 hits. Encarnacion now has 6 runs batted in the Classic. Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez with a 4 for 20. 2 of his 4 hits have been home runs. The celebration going on as it has throughout the Classic in that Dominican dugout. Pitch will be taken outside.
You know what? I really think the big play at the bottom of the first inning was that sacrifice bunt. Tony Pena had the right guy there. Puerto Rico couldn't get the bunt down when their leadoff man got on. But Tony had Ibar there instead of Tejada, knowing that he wanted that early lead. He wanted to strike first. He put the pressure on Puerto Rico. They gave in with the intentional pass, and Encarnacion made him pay.
And a 2-0 count here. Ramirez will get one to hit, and he fouls it back. And already with a no tomorrow game, this one's for the championship, the bullpen. Burgos is up in the bullpen. You're not going to waste anything here. And if your starter's in trouble, you got to go get him early if you are Edwin Rodriguez. And they're going to double barrel it down in the bullpen now. 2-ball, 1-strike count. And there goes the bat and the ball. Bat's halfway down to left. The ball came off the screen behind home plate.
Hanley Ramirez has struggled throughout this World Baseball Classic. A big part of that is that the swing has just been way too big. Trying to hit the ball too far rather than just making good solid contact. And I really think too, Gary, guys with that big leg kick, it takes them a little bit longer to get their timing down. And you know, we've seen them struggle during the World Baseball Classic, just not being able to get ready.
RBI chance with a runner at second for him. 2-ball, 2-strike count. And he will foul that one away as well. With the 2 runs in here in the inning, the Dominican has now outscored their opponents 35-14. They've got a big number with runners in scoring position at 297. That's how you get them across. Overall as a team, they're hitting 291. You compare that with Puerto Rico hitting 229. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Ramirez will take it. It will miss, and the count goes full 3-2.
We're talking to a lot of the players before the game for Puerto Rico, asking them what the key to the game was tonight. They talked about high fives, not only in the dugout if they were to score, but they needed at least 5 strong innings out of Alvarado because their bullpen not near as deep or as effective as that of Puerto Rico.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Runner off second base. Popped him up to center. Right center. Rios will come over and put it away. Runner halfway will go back. 2 outs. So Giancarlo Alvarez will try and get out of the inning right here. Alvarez earned a victory against Spain in the first round. 4 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Alvarado then came on against the Italians, did not factor in the decision. 4 1/3 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks in that game.
And as you remember, Gary, he really didn't give up any runs in that game to Italy. He left with 1 out and the bases loaded. Cedeno came in and left a fastball out over the plate to Rizzo that he hit for a double. That's when all 3 of the runs scored.
Runner off second with 2 away now, and the pitch taken outside by Nelson Cruz.
The unearned part of that situation was on the catcher's interference on Yadier Molina. Remember Nick Punto taking a swing and the bat making contact with Yadier's glove.
Cruz has already picked up 6 RBIs in the Classic. Staying away from him, it's outside. Cruz has had a 1 for 9 in the games against Puerto Rico. A lot of pitches being thrown here in this first inning, and a 2-0 count on Cruz. He's fallen behind the hitters. They are not chasing, not helping him out. So he's had to throw strikes.
We have not seen a good breaking ball from him yet. Nothing but that cut fastball.
This is the 20th pitch of the inning, and that's going to bounce away, and the runner's going to move up. Encarnacion goes to third base.
I think when Yadier saw this coming out of his hand, he was so disappointed that he knew it wasn't even going to be close to a strike, that he just kind of nonchalanted that. I mean, you're normally going to see a much better effort than that out of Yadier. Nothing hardly ever gets by him, but I think as he saw another non-quality pitch coming from Alvarado, he just kind of gave up on it.
3-0 count. 2 down, green light probably here if he gets one to hit.
No doubt, yes sir.
And it'll be on the outside corner for a strike, and the count goes to 3-1.
I think the fans can already see that the home plate umpire, Ted Barrett's strike zone he's one of the bigger guys, and his zone is every bit as big as he is.
And that ball will be popped up, came back inside on him. It's down the third baseline, and Andy Gonzalez is there to put it away. But they're underway as they get a couple of runs. They do it on 2 hits. Big blow. Encarnacion, after an intentional walk to Cano, drove Cano and Reyes home for the 2-0 lead. Well, Moises Alou, the general manager for the Dominican, saying about the game tonight in sports and a lot of other things were close, talking about Puerto Rico and the Dominican. I know this game is going to mean a lot to both countries tomorrow, depending on who wins it. And right now, the Dominicans got the early lead, 2-0, as we go to the second inning. And here is Mike Aviles. Aviles hitting .333, 9 RBIs for this ball club. He pops that one up. It's right there and playable. Aviles retired. Santana puts it away for the out.
You know, Gary, as you did, talking with a lot of players before the game during batting practice on both teams, it's exactly what Moises Alou said there. This game means a lot to both of the countries, but the one thing they all said and they took pride in is that there's going to be a new champion this year, and it's going to be a team from the Caribbean.
Japan, of course, had won the first 2 World Baseball Classics. They were eliminated. And now these teams that came out of the same pool in the Caribbean, playing in San Juan in the first round, end up coming right along together to the final game. Alex Rios up. Rios will take that for a strike. Rios hitting just a .192 with a home run, 2 RBIs, but you see leads the team with 7 runs scored. 0-2 delivery to him on a check swing, able to stay back on it. So Deduno's got himself a lead here, and the 29-year-old right-hander gives him a little room to throw some strikes. Just go after him. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And a swing and a miss.
Boy, an outstanding breaking ball. Think back to the last time out when the last 3 guys that he retired were via the strikeout. I think in this World Baseball Classic, he's found a weapon that he never had before. That breaking ball. And that's all he needs. That strikeout total should be a lot higher than it's been in the past.
He's been striking out batters coming out of his last start into this one. 2 down here. Rios the last one. 7 out of the last 11 batters that he's faced, he has struck out going back to his last game. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that is a strike call. Rivera hitting at .267 with a couple of RBIs. He's had only 1 at bat in the 3 games played against the Dominican, going 1 for 1. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss. I hate to say it, but of all the games that we've had, this is the quietest crowd. And if you take a look at the team from Puerto Rico, it's like this game is already over. I mean, they're kind of walking around, and Molina let the ball go by him. They're nonchalanting. It's like the Dominicans already won this thing. And a 1-ball 2-strike count, which is got to pick that up. They need to pick me up. And there are the fans who are very quiet outside the Coliseo Roberto Clemente in San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's a live shot where they've gotten together to watch, and so far they haven't had much to smile about. Deduno gets the strikeout. He had 2 in the first, 2 here in the second, and the Dominicans on top. And the championship game of this World Baseball Classic. A great pregame ceremony on the field, and afterwards you saw the trophy there that will be presented to the winner, the Commissioner of Baseball. Bud Selig is on hand to make the presentation here tonight. And right now what Puerto Rico needs is a jump start. maybe they can get it from the bullpen because they're already going to make the move to the 25-year-old right-hander.
Well, he has been outstanding for Edwin Rodriguez's club. Burgos on for the 3rd time. He picked up a victory against Italy. Tremendous command. It just, right off the bat, it didn't look like that Alvarado had any kind of a breaking ball. And when you're only playing one more game in this tournament, there's nothing to wait on.
And Burgos' pitch will miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Santana leading it off. Santana, the switch hitting catcher, hitting .300, a couple of home runs and 3 RBIs in the Classic. Bottom 3rd of the order against the right-hander Burgos. And the 1-1 delivery and a check swing. Did he go? They go to 3rd, and the answer is no, and the count will go to 2-1. So the Dominican will try and pile it on early here, get those runs on the board, give their pitching staff, which has been so good, a lot of room to work in this ball game. Here's the 2-1 delivery and a good cut. Burgos on the off-speed pitch had him out in front of it.
Terrific changeup right there. We've seen the command with the fastball.
Burgos with the Milwaukee Brewers organization. Played between AAA, AA last year and High A. He actually worked through 3 levels. Ended up 10-4 with a 1.95 ERA combined in 28 games, 27 starts. Grounded down to first base is a fair ball. Rivera's got it. Pitcher covers. Burgos there for the out. Let's take a look at the defense. And obviously, in a championship game, you can't make mistakes. Feliciano's been in and out of left field during this tournament. Pagan has been steady in center, and Rios the same in right. In the infield, Andy Gonzalez a solid 3rd base. Shortstop Mike Aviles. Irving Falou with great range at 2nd, and Carlos Rivera at first base. Behind the plate, Yadier Molina, who has led this team. 7 errors have been committed by Puerto Rico in the Classic, but they've surrendered only 1 unearned run. Here is Moises Sierra. Sierra clocks one to center field. Just missed as he got under it. And on the warning track called in by Pagan, 2 away.
I find that real interesting that because of this ballpark, it goes down as a kid. He just missed it. he really didn't. He got a lot of that. I mean, he hit that ball 390 feet, but that's going to come down into Pagan's glove here in San Francisco. Boy, this is a good-looking young kid right there.
Well, we talk about it. Depends on where you hit it as well as how hard you hit it. And in this ballpark, pitchers can get away with that. Power rallies in deep center. And a strike on the outside corner. Diaz, the center fielder, 4 for 21. He has had 3 RBIs. Has struggled a bit over the last 4 games, going 0 for 11 at the plate. 0-1 delivery to him is fouled off, and he's behind on the count, 2 strikes. Pitchers love these numbers.
Just take a look at that. Only 84 home runs allowed in this ballpark. Petco down in San Diego, another big yard, but none of them play as difficult as this to clear the fence.
0-2 count. Alejandro Diaz waiting, and he'll get away from that with a little dance. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count from Burgos.
I think the toughest part for Diaz in this World Baseball Classic is that he's hitting 9th. I mean, he's used to being a top of the order type guy, right in the middle of things, use the patience, but he's not going to lead off on a team that has Jose Reyes on it.
1-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss. So Burgos comes on and gets it done in a hurry, and maybe we'll give a little fire to the offense of the team from Puerto Rico as their fans up and try and get it going. Edwin Rodriguez, the manager for Puerto Rico, talking about the ball game. When we get together, these 2 countries, these 2 teams, I'm going to repeat this, the boys are very aware this is not just a championship or just a sports game. We know what this means for the Puerto Rican people, and beyond the sports aspect, we're accomplishing what we can get done here we feel matters. And The real hope was that a good showing, and they certainly have done that, for Puerto Rico would reinvigorate baseball programs in Puerto Rico that have fallen off. And right now they need to reinvigorate themselves, try and pick up some runs.
I'll tell you what, Gary, I know there's going to be an MVP of this tournament awarded at the end of the game. There's always an all-tournament team when the Classic is over.
Little chopper. Antenna up and gets it.
But I really think that Edwin Rodriguez, if there was a most valuable manager, I think the award would go to him. I mean, you just look at the starting pitching that he had. Alvarado's already out of the game. Nelson Figueroa struggling to get a job. Mario Santiago, Orlando Ramon. I mean, those aren't big league names. That's not what you look at when you look across the field at the Dominican Republic. He's had to piece together that bullpen. There's not a Fernando Rodney down there. I think he's done a terrific job, as good as anybody in this tournament.
And a very young team that Puerto Rico decided to put together. Here's Feliciano. Jesus Feliciano has had a 143 batting average, including a 1-for-5 against the Dominican in the first 2 games. In at third base, Ramirez. Talk about the declining aspect of the players from Puerto Rico. Evidence not more so than this. In 2003, players from Puerto Rico in the majors had almost 14,000 at bats. Last year, just a little over 3,000. In 2003, Puerto Rican pitchers had 760 innings. Last year, 146. I mean, the number of players coming out of Puerto Rico has just diminished. Number of kids playing has diminished. Down to third and a base hit. So Feliciano's on their second hit.
I'll tell you what makes that base hit even bigger is the fact that the guy coming up, even though he's a leadoff hitter, Pagan is a guy that has tremendous power. He can hit the ball as far as anybody in this ball game tonight. And now you're looking for that spark. If you're Puerto Rico, it could come right here with him representing the tying run.
Well, whenever they've needed the spark in this Classic, he's been the one offensively. Picking up a single in the first inning. His 12th hit, hitting over 370 now. Runner on at first base, and for the first time we really hear some sounds from the fans for Puerto Rico. And Pagan will take the pitch inside. It is going to be blocked by Santana away.
That's a nice job keeping the double play in order by Santana there. Something that we've seen a lot of in this series from him. You know, I've talked to a lot of hitting coaches, and there's a good one there for Puerto Rico, Carlos Delgado. Right now, they got to spit on spin. Anything that has any kind of rotation on it, they have got to keep the bat on their shoulder. Seek a fastball.
Got a fastball there, couldn't pull the trigger on it. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Pagan did not think that one was in the strike zone. One of the connections of this Classic to the ballpark in this city is, of course, Pagan, who is the regular center fielder for the Giants, playing right here at AT&T Park. He's delighted the Giant fans coming back here for the semifinals and now the final game. Feliciano at first base being held. 1-ball, 1-strike count on Pagan. And that'll be in the outside corner. And again, he leans over in disbelief. 1-2.
I think he might have been looking for a fastball on this at bat, but he just wasn't looking for it on the outer half. There's a couple of pitches that I really think he should have tried to do something with, because we've seen that big wipeout curveball thrown to a couple of hitters that Puerto Rico's not been able to handle.
Pagan now with a 1-2 count, infield double play depth. Runner at first not going, and Pagan on a check swing holds up. Good block made. The check at third, he didn't go around. Pagan now with the 12 hits, including the single in this ball game. He's eclipsed the Puerto Rican record for the World Baseball Classic of hits. 10 had been held by Ivan Rodriguez in 2006. That record for Puerto Rico now is held by Pagan.
You know, when you really look at it, Pagan has been hot since the end of July a year ago. He had a tremendous August and September, October, and March.
2-2 delivery to him. He'll reach for it. Slow roller that'll be fouled off. that was where that other strike was, and he could not let that go by.
That is an outstanding job of trying to continue the at-bat. This would have been called strike 3. This breaking ball was coming back to that huge outside corner that we've seen already in this at-bat. He did everything he possibly could right there just to get a piece of that in hopes of getting a better pitch to handle now. I might think about running here.
Feliciano at first base has made no move to go. 1 down, 2-2. See if he takes off here and tries to stay out of the double play. He does not. Inside, kicked away. Throw's going to be made. Santana, no, he holds on. So that will move the runner up and a 3-2 count on Pagan.
And that might be the spark, Gary, that you're talking about Puerto Rico needing. Trying to find some way to get this crowd into it. The players have told us the crowd has been a big part of them continuing to play well. They've fed off their energy. There's just absolutely no energy for Puerto Rico up to this point. This could possibly provide it because you mentioned already Pagan with more hits than anybody in the history of a World Baseball Classic for Puerto Rico.
And a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Wild pitch charge to Doduno. That ball grounded towards second base. Cano is there. He'll make the flip to get the out. It will move the runner up, but there are now 2 down. So that will leave it up to Falou, the number 2 hitter. Ted Barrett, the new crew chief this season. Longtime Major League umpires the plate. Paul Heim is down at first base. MLB's Bill Miller at second. Edgar Estevición is at third. MLB's Wally Bell has left field. And Trevor Grieve in right from Canada. 2 down. Big at bat. Knocked down. Doduno fields it and gets the out. Puerto Rico had a chance in the first inning. They couldn't get a run in. They get a runner to second here with only 1 away, and they can't get a run in. The Dominican on top, 2-0. Can you really enjoy the ball game wearing those glasses?
Can you see the ball game with those glasses?
Can you see anything with those glasses? We'll never know. Here's Jose Reyes leading it off, bottom half of the 3rd inning. Reyes delivered a double and scored in the first, along with Cano, who got the intentional pass. They crossed the plate on the Encarnacion double for 2 RBIs. That pitch will be in there for a strike. Burgos, the 25-year-old right-hander, remains on the mound, coming on in relief in the 2nd inning. 4-1 win over the Netherlands moved the Dominican to this championship game. The 3-1 win over Japan by Puerto Rico put them in this final. Neither team has reached here before. The Dominican Republic did make it to the semifinal game back in '06 when they lost to Cuba. Last year they were eliminated in the first round. Puerto Rico in '06 lost in the 2nd round, and the same thing happened to them in '09.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic down in Miami they were talking about the Netherlands before that final game in which they beat Puerto Rico to set that matchup last night.
In the air to left field, and that'll be hauled in by Feliciano. 1 down here in the 3rd inning. City of San Francisco hosting this World Baseball Classic, and the beautiful Golden Gate has been available to us to see. It has not been fogged in. Hello there. Proud to have one of the world's most recognizable blimps providing coverage of today's game. The unique aerial views of the World Baseball Classic, delivered live from the Friend and I in the Sky MetLife's Snoopy 2. 1 down. There are times when the sea smoke rolls in from the Pacific where you can't see the Golden Gate Bridge from downtown San Francisco. And you can get some real fog banks here, as you would expect, off that cold Pacific. Ball's going to be a base hit. That'll go into right center field. Ibar has sacrificed his first time up. Picks up the single with 1 away here in the 3rd inning.
Tony Pena doing an outstanding job with that number 2 spot in his lineup the last couple of nights. It was Miguel Tejada that played 3rd base but hit 2nd. He had the big base hit, scored a run in that 5th inning when they were able to score 4 runs and pick up the victory last night over the Netherlands. Now already Ibar with the successful sacrifice bunt, and here he gets a base hit when he gets an opportunity to swing.
That'll be hit number 3. The first one off Burgos. Cano scoring after getting the intentional pass will get a chance to hit here with one down and a strike on the inside corner. Cano's got a chance to have the highest batting average in the history of the World Baseball Classic. Frederick Cepeda, who played for Cuba, hit for a 449 average. Cano right now hitting at 517.
You know, Gary, I really think even if the Dominican Republic loses tonight, he's still the MVP of this tournament.
If you look at the overall tournament, had him going and got him. Ibar was leaning, and Burgos with a quick move picks him off.
Thinking about putting the game in motion, Tony Pena telling us that everybody has the green light. I really think that he got away with the balk right there. Not only did he throw his head up, but he bent both of his knees. That created Ibar. That got him out and running. Kind of looked like a little bit of a phantom tag. I don't know if the glove ever touched him, but the glove and ball did beat him back to the base.
So base is empty for Cano now with the 0-1 count. And Cano will take it outside.
Let's see if he got him or not right there. It just kind of goes down and comes up. Not a real good angle there to see if contact was made, but our opinion doesn't matter.
We've talked about Rivera playing off the bag, making those tags more difficult. He's a step and a half off the bag down the line. So when he applies a tag, he really has to olay it as he did there. 1-1 delivery on the way. Cano hit or be hit and fouls that one off. And a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Well, having been there many times, you take a look at his front knee. Look at how both knees bend right there, and that's normally the first thing that happens when a pitcher comes to home. The key to that play, you got to know who the first base umpire is, and if he does not know you occasionally, you can get away with that. I got a feeling if he tries that again later on in the ball game, it'll be called.
1-ball 2-strike count here on Cano. He's hit successfully in all of the ball games. Feliciano, he's got it. So Puerto Rico helps its cause with Burgos getting that pickoff. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base, 3 complete, and a little rain coming down. I want to remind you to go to WorldBaseballClassic.com. Bookmark it, your #1 stop for news, video highlights, online shopping, authentic jerseys, caps, collectibles, and more. You can go 24/7 and gear up as you support your team by wearing the official colors of your country. WorldBaseballClassic.com is accessible on your computer, tablet, or smartphone.
Did you get those T-shirts you were talking about?
Team Italia
from Italy,
headed to Vermont to the grandson, whose first name is Giovanni, whose middle name is Pietro, and whose last name is DeJulian. What do you think?
I think you're a great grandpa. I'll leave it at that. And a great dad.
Thank you so much. Well, rain was in the forecast. It's raining on and off tonight. That's what the forecast was today. They'll try it up. The pitch will be taken up high for a ball.
You know, having made that mistake myself when I was younger, sometimes when it starts to rain and you feel like Mother Nature's going to take a win away from you as a pitcher, you start to hurry things up a little bit.
DeDuno has his control problems. He doesn't need to do that.
Gary, I can remember a game in the playoffs in the Dominican. We had like a 5-0 lead. It started raining in the 4th inning. I didn't even take a warm-up pitch. I just hurried up. Let's go. Let's get it going. The next thing I know, the score was 5-4. And all of a sudden, the skies opened up. It never rained another drop. But I had put myself in a tough situation.
And there's the first walk. Heave. What was that? How about the crew out there working?
That might be the only instrument right there that I could possibly play. More cowbell.
He's had a lot of experience, I can tell.
I can't play it that well, but I could bang on it.
A leadoff walk here. Here's Molina, strikeout victim his first time out. DeDuno will get the pitch in there for a strike. Now these players know the situation. This game's going to be done tonight. There isn't any tomorrow. It will finish if the regulation is played. Whatever the score happens to be after 4.5, if the home team's leading, it's over if it ends up being rained out. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Down to first base, chance for 2. There's one. Relay. They got it. Big double play. Encarnacion. Reyes back to him. Leadoff walk eliminated.
Just another outstanding pitch in on the hands of Molina, trying to go to the opposite field, which we've seen him do a lot. Once Encarnacion came up with that ball, both he and Jose Reyes knew they had all of the time they needed to complete the double play.
So Deduno with his D working for him, 2 down. Avila's coming up. He popped out his first time up. Avilas will take the pitch for a strike against the Dominican. He's picked up 3 hits and 8 at-bats, including a home run. Avilas, the 0-1. It's raining harder, and the pitch will be taken inside.
In fact, Gary, thinking about that home run that Avilas hit in round 1 against the Dominican, that's the only offense that Puerto Rico has had in the 3 games that these 2 teams have played.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him. That's on the inside corner for a strike. Really too bad. Championship game is going to be affected by rain. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Grounded down to third and foul.
Rain was not going to be a problem in the first 2 series that I did. Of course, Arizona and down in Miami both have got retractable roofs if needed.
We didn't have a roof in Puerto Rico, but we didn't have any rain either, so we're okay.
And you do not want a roof in this beautiful city here.
1-2 delivery, and that's going to be in the dirt, and it'll go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. As John Hammond said, it never rains in Southern California. This isn't Southern California. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And a ball to center field, hit hard. Diaz is right there, though. And he's got it to retire the side. So despite the leadoff walk, only 3 batters faced in the 4th inning. The Dominican Republic after the championship, 2-0. Juan Marshall, the Dominican dandy, remembered here in San Francisco, one of the game's all-time great pitchers with that leg kick like no one else.
You know what? I owe Mr. Marichal a lot. When I was an 18-year-old kid going to spring training with the Dodgers, my locker was right next to his. And a lot of the minor league pitching coaches were telling me that with my delivery, how I wrap my arm behind my back, you'll never be able to pitch like that. It was Juan Marichal that said, you don't need to listen to them. You'll be just fine.
I'm sure a lot of people talked to him about that high leg kick and said you'll never be able to pitch with that. Encarnacion will take it. Leading off the bottom half of the 4th inning, Encarnacion with a double. The big 2 RBIs in the 1st inning. Ramirez and Cruz will follow. Burgos on in relief of the starter. Working into his 3rd inning here. He has given up just 1 hit. And the pitch is a strike at the knees. Puerto Rico is not out of this ball game. There's no guarantee that it's going to rain throughout the rest of the night and stop the game. They're only behind 2-0. No one knows that more than Edwin Rodriguez. Plus, it may even help them in that if the rain comes a little bit here and the Dominicans start speeding the game up and think they've got to get it done in a hurry and get out of the rhythm, the whole thing, the momentum can be reversed because of these things. And Puerto Rico with somebody on and a big hit, be right back in the ball game. But we'll see. 2-2 delivery on the way, a big cut, and he got him.
That's really the best breaking ball that we've seen out of Burgos in the tournament. We've seen command of the fastball. We've seen a terrific changeup, but another little wrinkle that Encarnacion just didn't look ready for. You know, I applaud Edwin Rodriguez once again. He did not like what he saw with Giancarlo Alvarado. And you know that all day long, the team from the Dominican Republic was preparing for him. Well, the next thing you know, he's gone. And now who's this guy? What's he throw?
Yep. Here's Ramirez, who will take it down low for a ball. Giancarlo Alvarado worked only an inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, an intentional pass, and no strikeouts. Ramirez, the 09 National League batting champion, as you see there, 4 for 21 in the Classic so far. Burgos' pitch to him will miss, 2-0.
You know, earlier in the ball game on that base hit by Hanley Ramirez, everything on his body slid across the top of the grass except that right thumb. He has been messing with that thumb ever since that happened right there.
Staying in the ball game. 2-0 delivery, at least for now. And that is a strike on the outside corner to him.
Look at the command. Burgos has really been impressive. I mean, it was he that came on in that game against Italy where they had to shut them down. Italy had the early lead. He was a big part of the bullpen that did that. Of course, they were able to come back and take the victory in the 8th inning.
2-1 delivery, hit in the air to center field. Not seen immediately, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. A catchable ball, but Pagan never saw it. And by the time he picked it up and reacted to it here in his own home ballpark, he couldn't get it.
You know what's interesting? That's the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen him make a mistake. And to make a mistake on a ball like that in this ballpark, I mean, this is where he played all of last year. He just kind of froze to begin with. I mean, we're almost as far away from the hitter as he is, and we could tell that that bat was broke from the sound of it. He just did not pick that up. That should not have been a hit.
You see how hard it is raining here. Trying to get through and make it an official game. Get through at least 4.5 innings. Here is Nelson Cruz. Cruz popped out his first time up. Runner at first base, and he'll foul it off. This game is under the control of Major League Baseball, not the umpires. So any decisions made about needing to stop play or cover the field or whatever, it is not the umpire's decision as it would normally be. It's that of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Gary, we've heard the same thing that the umpires have heard. It's just going to continue to get worse.
Yep. And the hope was, with the forecast, they were told, look, we're not going to bring the tarp out. And it starts raining. We're just going to let it rain, and we're going to keep playing and try and get an official game in the books and go from there. 0-1 count on Cruz. Very short lead at first. Track's a little wet. It's a mutter's game right now, and that'll be fouled off into the seats. And a 2-strike count.
Partner, you talked about the Dominican Republic team possibly starting to hurry up. Yeah, as you look at the scoreboard, they have got to get through the top of the 5th inning to make it an official game. If they're able to put a 0 or even a 1 up there, they don't have to hit in the bottom of the 5th to come out with the victory and be crowned champions of this World Baseball Classic.
Yep. Tony Pena's covered the neck up over there. Cruz with the 0-2 count, 1 down. Ball's going to be slippery to throw. That ball's hit on the ground here in the infield. Here's the 0-2 delivery, swung on and missed. So Burgos, good location, has 3 Ks.
And another good breaking ball. This is the exact same pitch that he was able to get Encarnacion out for the 3rd strike, swinging down below the zone. Very impressive, particularly when you think about the lineup that he's facing and the conditions that he's in.
So Burgos gets the 2nd out. Now Santana. Santana grounded out his first time up. 2 down. Burgos, fastball in, fouled away for a strike. Santana trying to keep the eyesight clean here with that water coming off the bill of his cap. Burgos was selected by the Brewers in 2009. First-year player draft. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That will be up high. Burgos has done some good work early on. We told you the numbers that he's had in the minor leagues last year with that 10-4 mark, coming all the way from high A up to triple A with a 1.95 ERA combined. 1-1 delivery, and that'll be lifted high into the rain down the sideline towards the seats and out of play.
I'll tell you another thing that's been really impressive to me is just the look that Burgos has in his face. I mean, the focus on his eyes. 90% of the time he's going to throw what Yadier Molina calls for, but he's got an idea on how to pitch. I mean, that fastball away can mean a lot of different things depending on the count. Does he want it for a strike? Does he want you to try to keep it down? Does he want you to put a little bit more on it? This kid's really got a good idea on how to pitch. There he is, shaking off Yadier Molina.
1 ball, 2 strike count, runner at first. That'll be way outside. Molina able to haul it in. Burgos is from Puerto Rico, and he's out of the academy there, the baseball academy. And when he got out of the academy, he moved to the United States and played college ball at Bethune-Cookman, where he pitched, and then was picked up and signed. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Ramirez at first, and the 2-2 is swung on and missed. So Burgos gets his 4th strikeout, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Rios, Rivera, Gonzalez due up when we come back. Got the perfect sweatshirt on there. It's swim, bike, run. And the umbrella. In between innings, a little work done here.
Yeah, and as he should, being the crew chief, Ted Barrett going out with the head ground crew keeper. Wanted to take a look at the pitcher's mound, decided there was nothing wrong there. But Ted Barrett knew that home plate was starting to get a little bit soggy, so they came down to where Ted Barrett does his good work. And they put the quick dry down there to make sure that there's no problem. Just buying them, hopefully a couple of more innings to be able to continue this game.
And Barrett's brush not working very well on home plate, so he's had to go to his feet.
Another
wet
thing,
dirt sticking.
I see that, but look at that. They've knocked the back of the batter's box out on both the left and right-handed side. I mean, if I'm a hitter right now, I get as deep as I possibly can.
Rios trying to do just that. Deduno, 51 pitches thrown so far, and has walked 1, struck out 4. Rios will take the pitch away for a ball. Rios, one of the strikeout victims. Rios, Rivera, Gonzalez due up. 6, 7, 8 in the order.
Got to be some concern right now for Tony Pena, because after Deduno threw that first pitch, not even close to the strike zone, he looked down at where his left foot landed, almost as if to say, wait a minute.
Just did it again, Rick.
I don't feel comfortable with this. This is not the way it's been. And I think right now, I mean, if I'm Deduno, if I'm Tony Pena, I go out there and do something right now, because he does not feel confident where that front foot's coming down.
3-0, and he looked at it again. All 3 pitches he's looked down. Now, the number 1 concern for Major League Baseball as you get to this point, Rick, is the potential for injury.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can't have. And that's where the line is right now. When is there so much rain in the field in such a condition that it poses a hazard to the players? And it does pose a hazard to pitchers, as Rick knows all too well. You start sliding around out there in a groin or an ankle.
Or a shoulder.
Yeah. 3-1 delivery on the way, and he can't get it in there. And at every pitch he looked down where he was landing, and here they come. Home plate umpire Ted Barrett and the second base umpire Bill Miller both signaled that they got to do something out there on the mound. So the grounds crew is going to be brought out here, I think, to try and work on the mound that Miller's asked for them, the second base umpire. Home plate umpire Ted Barrett got the towel to try and clean off the plate.
Well, Deduno is going back behind the mound trying to clean his spikes off with the thing that they put in there. Look at how his front foot's sliding. As soon as it goes down, it slips out from underneath him. He is not, once he gets on the mound and he steps back, that's when all of a sudden his left cleat starts to get filled up with mud. And then when he puts it down on the ground, there's not enough cleat there to dig in to where he does not slide. You've got to bring the ground crew out right now and get that fixed. This is the tie and run at home plate.
Bill Miller has tried to do that. He's still looking over there in the dugout on the third base side, the second base umpire, but they're going to let it go. And they will pitch to Carlos Rivera with a runner at first base, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Now, Deduno can stop this anytime he wants. If he says, I can't pitch under these conditions, then something will have to be done. But he's continuing to throw the baseball.
If I'm the pitching coach, Bill Castro for the Dominican Republic, I'd do something about this.
Bill Castro right there on the right. That pitch is in there for a strike, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Rivera, strikeout victim, his first time up. Leadoff walk. It's going to be the 3rd time in 5 innings Puerto Rico's gotten the leadoff man on base. Here you see the numbers for Rivera, Mexican and Independent League combined. Way outside.
Tell you what, though, with the exception of Pagan in that very first at bat, there's not been one hard hit ball off of Deduno.
They haven't been able to do anything. They get anybody on base. They're gone 0 for 7.
I mean, every time he throws a pitch, you can tell that he's concerned about his cleats.
2-1, runner at first, Rios. Inside and gets away. Runner will go down, and DeDuno looked over to the dugout. Instead of looking to where the ball had went, he's looking at the dugout like, somebody help me out here.
Well, finally, Robinson Cano is coming in to do something. He's not going to throw another pitch. They're going to come out there and give him some help, which they should have done before he threw the second pitch to Alex Rios. This is hard for me to believe. They got to get 3 outs now. There you go. This should have happened a long time ago. You know what happens, Gary? You get a guy that doesn't have a whole lot of experience. DeDuno's pitching the biggest game of his life. He doesn't want to say anything. He doesn't want to cause a problem. He doesn't know what to do. Well, this is where Tony Pena, Bill Castro should have done something. It wasn't until Robinson Cano came in that anything was done.
So they'll put some more of that drying agent out there. Also get some bullpen action. The veteran Dotel is going down to warm up.
You know, you might say, well, why didn't he notice that when he was throwing his warm-up pitches? Well, there's a difference there. Your warm-up pitches are only thrown at 50 to sometimes 70% effort, so your stride's not as long. You're not throwing that front foot down into the ground to get the support that you need. All of a sudden, he threw the first pitch of this inning. He got a little bit longer, the foot come down a little bit harder, and it gave out on him. That's when he lost his confidence in his delivery.
He's going to try it out here. DeDuno will.
Oh, he slipped again. It's not ready. They have got to pound it down. The soft stuff that they put on top of there, the quick dry, let it soak up some of the moisture, but then beat it back down into the ground.
See, I've got to say, Rick, one of the things MLB's got to do right here, look, you want this Classic to matter, you want people to take it seriously, then you got to play the game seriously, especially the championship game. You can't just be rushing this thing through for the sake of getting it done because the GM want their players back. You got to play this game. And right now, they're in danger of not doing that and just rushing to get 5 1/3 innings or 4 1/2 innings done here to make it official.
Here, you have never been more right. There is no way that weather should have any kind of an impact on who the World Baseball Classic champion of 2013 is.
So DeDuno hopefully will have a mound he can throw off here. Puerto Rico's on the verge of being right back in this thing. They've been able to get the leadoff man on Rios. He goes to second on the wild pitch, so that takes away the double play. And now the RBI opportunity to Rivera, who's ahead on the count 3-1.
There'll never be a situation where Rivera swings any harder than he does here if he gets a pitch that he likes.
3-1 delivery. He got one he liked. He drives it in the air to right. The wind's going to hold that ball up. Runner tags with no footing and will hold, and a real good throw in made by Cruz. So Rivera retired, one away.
I tell you what, not only was it a real good throw from Nelson Cruz, but it was a real good pitch. Look at the location on that fastball, down and away. Rivera with the big swing. He knew that he represented the tying run, but DeDuno once again coming up with a terrific pitch.
And as we said, no guarantee it was going to continue to rain. It's letting up. Fans are moving back down. They'd all moved up under cover. It's still raining, but not as hard as it was. Here is Andy Gonzalez. Gonzalez with one away. He'll take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. The infield showing the effect of the rain. We're actually seeing it starting to mud and puddle up a little bit now. You can see it. So that'll make the going treacherous out there.
And that's exactly what was happening on the mound.
Yep. Andy Gonzalez, 0-1 count. And a good pitch. DeDuno finding that strike zone, really concentrating here, and the count goes to 0-2.
You know, most of the time as a pitcher, your back foot is in the air as you release the pitch. The only thing that you have on the ground is that front foot. It's kind of like a boat. The only thing that's in the water when it's going fast is the rudder. That front foot is everything as far as your command is concerned. He's finally gotten it back.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and that ball's put up in the air to left center field. Hit pretty good. Diaz is going back, makes the catch. Runner halfway will have to go back, and no easy play under any circumstances, much less with the rain coming down.
I had no idea that he could cover this much ground. Diasa playing fairly shallow right there. Had to go a long ways, had to take a terrific route. As you said, had to battle the elements. Not only his footing possibly a little bit slippery, but his vision a little bit impaired. Boy, just fully extended to come down with that to keep Puerto Rico from scoring. If that ball gets over his head, it's probably a triple. 2
down. Pitch will miss inside. Chances for Puerto Rico continue to go by the boards here. Here's Jesus Feliciano. Runner at second, stranded. First inning, third inning. They got a runner to second, 1 out, couldn't score. Leadoff man on in the fourth, double play, took that runner off. Here they've had a walk, runner second. Can't get him moved around.
Look at where he's at. He's on the right side of second base, fairly shallow. That was an 0-2 pitch. You don't look for it to be hit with authority, but it was, making the play even that much more remarkable.
Breaking ball will miss. Feliciano single his first time up. Pagan waiting on deck. You see 0 for 9 with runners on bases tonight, and you got Pagan top of the order on deck. So one thing DeDuno does not want to do here is turn this order over. Buries that pitch down and in. 2-2.
Well, another thing too you see is that Hanley Ramirez has been playing a lot deeper than what he was earlier when Feliciano got the base hit, and he actually jammed his thumb trying to make the diving play. He's still worried about that thumb. I would imagine the Dodgers are too.
Yeah. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Off second base, Rios. 2-2 delivery on the way, and chopped it foul. Boy, credit to DeDuno. Under tough circumstances, after giving up a leadoff walk, he's found a way to find the strike zone.
Gary, I tell you who else I give a lot of credit to, and that's Robinson Cano. If he doesn't come in there, there's no telling. DeDuno might have continued to walk the world and put Puerto Rico back into this ball game. Cano stopped every bit of that by coming to the mound.
2-2 delivery on the way outside. That just slipped. Interesting story, New York Times today about Robinson Cano. As they said, Pena may speak, but Robinson Cano always has something left to say. Moises Salou, who is the GM of this ball club, and Cano responded to that saying, I think that's my responsibility. I'm going to help my teammates. I'm not going to hesitate. They said, well, why don't you do that in New York? He said, well, and I'm quoting, you got Jeter, you got all those guys. I'm still learning from those guys. I'm the kind of guy I don't like to talk too much, because when you talk too much, nobody's going to listen to you. And he's just quiet around the Yankees. But here on this club, he is the leader, and he's taken that role and run with it.
Well, he even took the blame back in 09, saying that it was his responsibility. It was his fault that they didn't advance past the first round. I don't believe that to be true, but credit has to go to him for standing up.
Yep. You see the rain. 3-2 count, 2 away. Big pitch. And he walked him. So the third walk surrendered by DeDuno, 2 in this inning, and it will turn the order over. And here's a big moment in this classic, in this championship game, with Pagan coming up. The leader at the top of the order for Puerto Rico, a single, and he's grounded out.
So many terrific numbers for Pagan a year ago. Hit just under 290. Had over 50 RBIs. And where a lot of those come from were in situations just like this, with runners in scoring position. He hit almost 300 in spots like this.
And that will bring Tony Pena out to the mound. And you see Tony, he's shaking his finger at the home plate umpire. What's happening here? The Major League Baseball talked to both of these teams, and they were told, you got to hustle this game, you got to move it along, it's going to rain, we got to get official. And Tony right there is just saying, no, we're going to play this game. I know I'm not supposed to come out here, I know I'm not supposed to slow this down, but we're going to play this game the way it's supposed to be played. And to his credit, he makes the visit to the mound.
I think part of that too, that he was telling Ted Barrett that I'm not going to make a change.
Yep. Now Barrett will come out to break it up.
Kind of interesting, though, that Tony would be the guy that comes out there. He's struggling with his command. He just gave up another walk. You know, you would think it might be the pitching coach that comes out there to try to help Doduno get this final out.
Runners on at first and second. The Dominican leading. Rios at second base, a walk. Feliciano at first base, a walk. Dominican got 2 in the first inning. 2 RBI double by Encarnacion. Now the fans from Puerto Rico making some noise. Pagan will take the pitch for a ball.
Well, it's obvious that Tony Pena also told Doduno, you got to be careful with this guy. There's not near the thunder in the on-deck circle in Irving Falou. And what being careful means is that every pitch has to be with the mindset that the count is 0-2.
1-0 delivery, that's up high.
You can see he's trying to paint the corner, even though he was behind in the count.
Pagan here in his home ballpark, a .267 hitter. He has had 2 home runs here at AT&T Park. Right now, it's not the home. I mean, the home run would be great as far as he's concerned, but it's that extra base hit. With 2 down, you got the advantage of the runners going. And an extra base hit here could tie this ball game up. 2-0 count. And that is a strike on the outside corner. Doduno not giving in and finding the outside part of the plate.
Well, and one thing that you're always going to see with a home plate umpire that has a bigger than normal zone is the complaining is always going to come from the hitters. Pagan, once again, as he was in the last at bat, not happy with that called strike.
Puerto Rico trying to get one up, at least one here in the 5th inning, and Pagan will back out.
You know, Gary, there might be people, particularly fans of Puerto Rico, saying, well, it wasn't a strike. You know what? For a lot of umpires, that last pitch wasn't a strike, but tonight it is. And as a hitter, you have to make the adjustment because usually the home plate umpire will not.
2-1. Pagan waiting. He'll chop it off. That's a good pitch by Doduno again as he kept it down low. 2-2.
Yeah, this is a straight changeup here. The fastball count, being able to use a secondary pitch to make the fastball that much better. For me right now, you forget about the weakness of the hitter. And as a pitcher, you think about your strength. His strength has been that good curveball down at the knees or even below that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Pagan goes down swinging, and Doduno gives it the 360. A big out, and Pagan hollering out at Doduno and looking at him for celebrating after the strikeout. Doduno's got 5 Ks, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 are left on base. And if you don't think they're intense, take a look at this.
I'm sure for a lot of reasons Pagan was upset. He had an opportunity to put something on the board, to possibly drive in a run, maybe tie the ball game up. But then it was really compounded when all of a sudden you can see the 360. You can see the emotion there from Doduno. During the course of a major league game, during the regular season, you never see anything like that. To me, that would be disrespectful. It would be obviously something that was retaliated for. But in this World Baseball Classic, that passion, the emotion has been everywhere. And to me, it's just become part of this tournament.
It's been much written about, especially from the Dominican team, which has been more than willing to have that kind of emotion shown in all parts of the ball game.
Gary, I got no problem with what Doduno did there. You know, particularly when, well, you know what?
I do.
But when you think about a guy hitting a home run, what are they going to do? They're going to stand there and watch it. They're going to admire it. We've seen Barry Bonds in this park do a 360 there. So
don't agree with that either.
I'm right there with you. But hey, we're just going to have to get used to it because it continues.
Well, it will here because, as has been said by more than one, what you're seeing is what a Caribbean World Series looks like. This is what it's like when you play in the Caribbean World Series. All of the emotions are shown, and the players do not hold anything back. We don't see that in Major League Baseball day to day when you're going through the games. So one thing, you couldn't play 162 games and have that kind of emotion coming out. You'd be exhausted. by the time you get the game 50. But I would like to see a little more respect for players on the other team than we've seen, especially from the Dominican team. 2-strike count, Moises Sierra. Sierra flying out to center field his first time up. As I said to you before the game, I kind of wish Bob Gibson was pitching for Puerto Rico, because there'd be some sore ribs out there. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that's on the inside corner. He got him. Burgos doing a tremendous job in relief.
Once again, I'm trying to figure out what this guy's doing at the minor league level, because he's going through one of the best lineups that you're ever going to see, and he's doing it with ease. Command to both sides of the plate. He can spin it. His secondary pitches are tremendous. He can throw the changeup over when he's behind in the count, and he knows how to finish off an at bat.
Mother Nature may give the ball clubs a little break here as the rain is still coming, but it's let up. Slippery ball, and a good effort, but not in time. That's all you can do on that play, but a real good bunt by Diaza. And Gonzalez and Rivera combined to do what they could defensively.
This is something that he did a lot of last year for the Chicago White Sox. I really think it's just the beginning of what could be a terrific run for Diaza. He got called up back in 2011, played just over 50 games, hit just under 330. Last year he hit over 280, only played in 131 games. Had an injury during August, missed some time, but he's an everyday guy.
That'll be a base hit, and a good one. Hit number 5 for the Dominican Republic, one away. Reyes has doubled, scored, and flied out. 2-5-0 for the Dominican, 0-2-0 for Puerto Rico, and that is going to be fouled back into the screen.
Jose Reyes really starting to figure the game of baseball out, using all of that ability that he's had to go with the intelligence. A spot like this to begin with early in the count, you want to try to get a base hit to right field. If you get a base hit to left field, there's just going to be first and second. But with one out, if you can pull the ball and get a base hit in that direction, you're going to have at least a runner at third base with one out. So much easier to add to that lead.
Reyes with the 0-1, playing in at third. Gonzalez trying to take away the bunt. Diaza back. Diaza got out of an 0 for 13, by the way, on that bunt base hit. He's had overall a really good classic, but he had struggled of late. He ends it by getting on with the bunt. 0-1, 1 down. One of the things Reyes has done is take more pitches. Unlike in the regular season, Reyes has been much more patient. He's averaged 4.3 pitches per plate appearance, well above his average in the majors of 3.8. Throw over, back. Last year he averaged only 3.5 with Miami. So he's been willing to take the count a little deeper and wait for his pitch.
I'll tell you, I admire him for so many reasons. One being that with all the problems they had in Miami last year, he just went out there and played every day. Played in over 160 games for a team that obviously didn't go anywhere.
0-1, still in at third, Gonzalez, and a pitch out, and the runner not going.
And they're not going to pitch out to try to help Yadier Molina on a stolen base attempt. That right there, Edwin Rodriguez was feeling like the hit and run was on. And with the hit and run being on, that baseball's not going to get to the catcher where he can do anything about it.
Reyes, 1 ball, 1 strike count. Diaza not going, and a swing and a miss. 1-2. Big deal, of course, Blue Jays. Josh Johnson could be a key in that deal. 12-player deal it ended up being. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Only 1 away. Infield backs up for 2. Just missed. Down and away, and the count will go to 2-2.
Boy, his command has just been tremendous. It's down. We know that the outside corner can go a little bit from side to side. It's not going to be the high strike. You're not going to get the low strike. The home plate will grow a little bit.
And a chopper that's going to go by the mound. They got the runner. That's one. They got to put a tag on. They can't. So we get the second. Diaza held up, and Falou, instead of going to second and just trying to turn a regular 2, wanted to put a tag on, and once he tried that, it was over.
An absolute horrible play. You have got to get the lead runner. You are way too close to second base to make that throw to first. He's seen this play before, and if it's halfway in between the base paths, yeah, you're making the right play. But he was only about 25 to 30 feet from second base. You cannot make that mental mistake that Falou just did there.
And let's see if his teammates pick him up now, because that puts a runner in scoring position with 2 down for Ibar. Ibar is sacrificed and singled and got picked off. Ibar has picked up 4 hits in 10 at-bats against Puerto Rico this year in the Classic, and the pitch will be taken for a strike.
Well, Gary, because of the mistake by Falou there, putting a runner in scoring position, now you've got to shorten up the outfield. You want to give him an opportunity to throw somebody out at home on a base hit. If there was only a runner at first base right now, you do it just the opposite. You play extremely deep, making sure he doesn't hit anything in the gap to drive in a run.
That one is going to end up towards the seats, and it will go there out of play. Ibar keeps his at-bat alive. Ibar, 7 years in the majors, all with the Angels. He's had some speed that he's brought to the ball game. Good number 2 hitter in the lineup, which is where he is here.
Several of the players and coaches saying before the game that Tony Pena has got this team eating out of his hands. There is nothing that they won't do for him. But they were talking about it. It's not really been, and the word they used was dictator. I mean, he's not saying this is the way it's going to be. He told the shortstops, there's 4 of them counting Tejada. You know what he told Gary told him, you figure it out.
Yeah, that's right.
I know you all want to play, but you can't. So you guys figure it out. Tell me who's playing short, and I'll let you know from time to time who's going to play third, who the designated hitter will be. But you figure out who the shortstop is.
The players can't get mad at the manager when he does that.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a lot of what goes into managing in this day and age. You know, guys like Earl Weaver and Billy Martin, they would have no chance. They would not survive managing in 2013.
Eric Ibar trying to get another RBI. 2-0. Dotel, you saw Tony turn around, and Dotel was in the dugout. He's now gone back to the bullpen to warm up and go out here to see what they want to throw. It's been a relatively long inning, maybe too long as far as Tony's concerned, to bring Naduno back.
Well, if he does bring him back, he's going to be on one of the shorter leashes. If he gives up any type of a base runner, I would imagine that would be the end of the night. You cannot at this point let him face the tying run, and mainly because the bullpen is so good.
Yep. So the confab at the mound broken up. Ibar waiting on the 0-2 with 2 down and a runner at second base. Diaza. Rodney, their great closer.
Boy, he is something special, isn't he?
Perfect here in this World Baseball Classic, much as he was last year. 0-2 coming from Burgos. Way up high, pick off. No throw made. Molina faking it back.
You know what? That was all by design. Yadier Molina went to the mound saying, look, here's what I want. I want basically a pitch out. Give me the best possible pitch you can for me to handle. That was not it. That ball was a little bit higher than what Yadier wanted, and when he didn't get a good grip on it as it came out of his glove, he did the right thing by holding on to it.
1-2 delivery on the way. Will miss outside. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Our championship game of the World Baseball Classic, and it's turning into a grinder right now. Very light rain, very light, continuing to fall, but not nearly what it was. Checking to see in the bullpen, that was Phil Castro waving down there to Dotel, trying to get his attention.
Yeah, they're wanting to know if he's ready or not.
Yep. 2-2 delivery on the way, and a base hit into right field. Diaza will come around to score, heading into second base. Ibar, and the costly misplay at second base makes it a 3-0 ball game.
You are absolutely right. Burgos has done absolutely nothing wrong in this inning. There was a bunt signal. There should be a runner on first right now. And on a hit like that, there's only going to be men on second and third. The Dominican would not have had another run. That is a tremendous piece of hitting. He's seen him a couple of times now. He knows that he's got the good changeup, and just an absolute perfect night up to this point by Eric Ibar. The sacrifice bunt led to a couple of runs. He had a base hit in the third inning, and now the double here in the fifth.
They put 6 hits on the board. 3 of them have been doubles. For Ibar, his second RBI of the Classic, and a swing and a miss by Cano. Cano, intentional walk first inning that backfired when Encarnacion followed with a 2 RBI double himself. Reyes had led the ball game off for the Dominican with a double, and now Ibar gets the 2-bagger and an RBI. And a chance here for Cano, and the pitch will be taken up high, 1-1.
We'll see more of the excitement as we have seen from the very beginning from the team of the Dominican Republic. A lot of excitement, a lot of passion, and most of that because of that name that's on the front of that jersey.
Big hit by Ibar with 2 down to get that run in. All to the benefit of Doduno. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that will be just foul as he reached and turned that one over. And a 1-ball 2-strike count on Cano. Moises Salou, we were talking about with the Dominican. He's their GM, if you will. He was talking about the love affair with baseball in the Dominican, and he said it's like Europe or South America with soccer. Hopefully we will win tonight, and we will be heroes for the rest of our lives. He's right.
That is well said. And he's right about everything there. Baseball is king in the Dominican.
1-ball 2-strike count. Ball's going to be popped up, shallow left center, Bermuda Triangle area. Look out. It'll be hauled in. Feliciano coming on from left field to get it, but a big run in on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Dominican Republic, after the World Baseball Classic Championship, leads it 3-0. So the Dominican gets a very big run with 2 down in that last half inning, and Doduno is out of the ball game, but a great start for him. Couple of hits, no runs, 5 innings, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts, and he got through that hard rain that was coming down. And Octavio Dotel is on the mound and gets it in there for a strike to Irving Falou.
Well, that's a comment right there that has been said a lot. Octavio Dotel is on the mound. Started his outstanding career. I remember when he was a part of that bullpen for the Houston Astros. Of course, they had Brad Lidge and Dotel setting up Billy Wagner. We talk about the Nasty Boys. You see once again, as he has done during the postseason, he just rises to the occasion.
Dotel on the world champion St. Louis Cardinal team fouled off. This bullpen now of the Dominican has not given up a run in the last 21 2/3 innings that they have worked. They have been virtually untouchable here in this World Baseball Classic, with Rodney coming on to get the saves. And Ramirez is out of the ball game. Miguel Tejada has come on to play at third base, a veteran. So that thumb may have been bothering Ramirez sufficiently to get him out of there. Ball in the air to center field, hit pretty good. Lou will be retired, though. Daza had plenty of room to get it. One away.
Gary, people talk about the injuries and the, playing in the World Baseball Classic, things could happen. That could have happened anywhere. That has nothing to do with the World Baseball Classic. It was just to me, a poor play on the part of Ramirez. That thumb should not have been a problem.
And Miguel Tejada gets playing time here. Beltran up. Ground ball towards second base, this time going after the first pitch, and his struggles continue. 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the World Baseball Classic Inc. may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Good news from Miguel Tejada today. I was talking with him before the ball game. He was a non-roster invitee with the Kansas City Royals, a veteran, all-star, former MVP. They're going to give him a job. He's going to be a utility infielder for the Kansas City Royals. That's what they've told him.
I think that's a great move on their part. And you knew that when they made that trade with Tampa for James Shields that they thought they had a chance to win this year.
Miguel Tejada is the captain of this team. Tony Pena was talking about that. I didn't pick the captain, he said. The players decided who was going to be head of this club, and they selected Miguel Tejada. Before the Classic got underway, little has been made of that. Cano, of course, has been just a great leader out there, but says something about how the players feel about Tejada.
I tell you what, that's a dugout that's full of great leaders, right along with Tony Pena. You know, Moises Alou. Most general managers are up in their own private box and they're making moves and whatever. Not him. I mean, he's down there in that dugout in case somebody needs his opinion on something.
Yadier Molina, the 0-2 delivery to him. That'll be down to third and foul. Molina has hit into a double play and struck out in the ball game.
Gary, you talked about Dotel back in 11, a part of the World Series champion St. Louis Cardinals. He won a couple of games in that postseason for Tony La Russa's team. And then, of course, last year thought he was going to be a World Series champion again. He pitched in the Division Series, League Championship, and World Series for Detroit. He did not give up a run in any of those appearances, but of course the Tigers came up a little short.
3.57 ERA for the Tigers in 57 games. He'll get the comebacker, and boy, Dotel has a really easy inning. He sets the side down 1-2-3. The bullpen for the Dominican is at work, trying to protect a 3-0 lead in this World Baseball Classic championship game. Well, here's how they got the lead in this game.
Well, it started right off the bat with Jose Reyes doing what he has done for most of his career when healthy, off the facing there, almost 380 feet away, and then the intentional pass to Cano backfired on Edwin Rodriguez when Edwin Encarnacion filled the gap. An extra base hit, driving in the first couple of runs and giving them a lead that stands right now.
Other run came in the 5th inning on an Ibar double with 2 away. Encarnacion at the plate with that double, and he has struck out. 3-6-0 for the Dominican, 0-2-0 for Puerto Rico. That'll go to short. Aviles gets in front of it. Toss in the dirt, scooped up by Rivera. 1 away. Well, here's the line. With Deduno, a fine start. No runs, 2 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Encarnacion, the big 2 RBI double, and Eric Ibar with that single double and an RBI in the game.
I'll tell you what, the guy to me, though, that has pitched even better than Deduno is on the mound right now. That run that he was charged with in the top of the 5th inning, he shouldn't have been. The mental mistake on the part of Falou. And Ron Renicky, the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, we might be sending you a special gift tomorrow in this 25-year-old right-hander.
Burgos came on in the 2nd inning of the ball game. He faces Miguel Tejada, first at bat for Tejada in the ball game. 0-1 delivery to him. That'll be taken outside for a ball. Tejada swung the bat hard here in the Classic. Done a good job, as picked up 7 total bases, 6 hits, 17 at bats. Tejada, 1 ball, 1 strike count. And that pitch is going to be away from him. 2 balls and 1 strike on Tejada.
Burgos, as you mentioned, Gary, pitched at 3 different levels a year ago. Combined to have an ERA under 2. Had 1 relief appearance, so to stretch him out over 60 pitches is really no big deal.
2-1 count. And Tejada on the off-speed delivery. Tejada played winter ball in order to get himself ready to take a shot at getting back into baseball after a year out. And it has paid off. He said, my performance here in the World Baseball Classic, having a chance for the Royals to be able to see me in game conditions, he thinks made the difference in the opportunity to be a utility bench player for them for the coming year. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Tanner will foul that one back. It'll stay at 2-2.
You know, I don't think he's the power source that he once was. I mean, he can still yank a ball down the line out of any ballpark, but I think the versatility is the exciting part about him for Ned Yost's team. He still looks like he moves well. He's made some nice defensive plays at third. He's always played short. He could play second base if needed.
2-ball, 2-strike count. And that ball is going to be popped up in the air. Second base, or shallow right field. And it'll be hauled in by Rios, and there are 2 down. 2 away, 6th inning, championship game. Bullpen active. De La Torre has seen a lot of action, so has Xavier Cedeno. They're both ready if needed. Burgos with a chance, though, to get through the 6th inning. I just bought that outfit today to take home.
A couple days late. Isn't that a St. Patty's Day get up? Maybe still going since
like
St. Patty's Day.
If you water it, it will grow. 2 down. Here's Nelson Cruz. And the pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Cruz has struck out and popped out. Light rain continuing to fall here, but has allowed the game to go on. Dominican Republic trying to go 8-0. Go undefeated here in this Classic. That's at the knees for a strike. 0-2.
Couple of big hits. Just an outstanding tournament for Nelson Cruz. He's played terrific defense. You think about the double that he had in the game and the comeback against Italy, and then the hit that he had turning a single into a double off of Craig Kimbrell, something very few people can do.
That one he got jammed on, still able to drive it to center field deep. That ball back. It's going to take one hop off the base of the wall. Pagan going back to get it. It'll be a stand-up double for Cruz.
I would think right now that Edwin Rodriguez would be a little bit concerned about letting Burgos go any further. This is an 0-2 pitch. Very seldom do you see anybody hit a ball with authority when they're behind an account like that. They kind of become defensive. But this is a pitch that's elevated. It's right out over the heart of the plate and almost got out of here.
That ball really carried. So the visit to the mound. Like Ricky Bonas, the pitching coach. See whether or not Burgos feels as though he can continue on and try and complete the inning and find the out. The bullpen, as we said, is ready. They've just been staying warm down there.
Now you think about possibly turning the switch hitting Santana around. I really think you're better off trying to get him out when he's hitting left-handed. He's got more power from the left side, but he's always hit for a higher average from the right side.
He hit .243 left-handed last year, .272 right-handed. So he'll come on now with a runner at second base, RBI chance. Santana 0 for 2 in the ball game. Does have 3 RBIs. Burgos will try and finish it up. 7 hits for the Dominican. They lead at 3-0 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And the pitch away for a ball.
I got to tell you, Gary, that's one thing that I always hated as a pitcher, is when a pitching coach comes out there and tells you, hey, you got a base open, be careful with this guy. What do you mean be careful? I mean, are you basically telling me to put him on? Because I know if I put him on, you're going to come get me and bring a reliever in to face the other guy, and a couple of my runs being on base. I absolutely dislike that.
It's like telling you that all those other guys you weren't being careful with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to give up a hit to anybody. I think they're afraid to put the intentional pass on right now because it backfired in the first inning. But that is the thing to do.
2-0 delivery. They're not pitching to him, obviously, and the count goes to 3-0. They were leaving him in to issue a walk to Santana, and then they're going to go to the bullpen. As waiting on deck, Moises Sierra. 3-0. And he gets a strike in the outside corner.
And that was an off-speed pitch. He's not going to give in. Santana geared up for that fastball. I mean, he struck Santana out swinging the last time out. If you just leave him alone, I think he gets out of it. Now you put him behind in the count. He knows if he walks him, he's out of the game.
And he does. First walk he has surrendered. 9th free pass that Santana has picked up, continuing what he did last year when he improved his on-base percentage by drawing all those walks. So that will be it. Burgos will be coming out. Did a tremendous job in relief from the second inning on. He'll be responsible for the 2 base runners on, the Dominican on top. Last night, Moises Sierra got a chance to start the game and right away had an impact in the first inning, going into the seats, pulling a ball that was hit by Andrew Jones. That would end the inning, and then he'd come back at the plate and Sierra would deliver. He was a RBI double. He came in the 5th inning. He was a late starter, inserted in the lineup after batting practice.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Tony Pena was thinking about starting him to begin with. He decided against that. And then after batting practice, when Anita was not feeling 100%, he made the change and ended up probably making the difference and then winning that ball game.
Now Sierra gets the start here. He is 0 for 2. Runners on at first and second base on the walk picked up by Santana.
Burgos did absolutely nothing wrong. And yet with a mistake here on a pitch from De La Torre, he might be charged with 3 earned runs.
Jose De La Torre on the mound. Burgos went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. And the pitch will miss inside for a ball. He has been busy here in the Classic.
He has, and the thing everybody knows is that he throws a lot of breaking balls. He's got a big curveball. He's got the hard slider, usually pretty good command of that. But you know, the more and more you see a guy, the better idea you have as to what to look for. If I'm Sierra, I'm looking for a mistake with that breaking ball.
1-0 delivery. That will be fouled off at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
That was that breaking ball, but it wasn't a mistake. It was perfectly placed on the outside corner. You look at where the glove of Molina was set up, and that's where the baseball would have ended.
De La Torre pitched in 3 different organizations last year. 1 at AA, 2 at AAA. Ended up 9-1 with a 2.80 earned run average. Good numbers. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on. It's a big at bat. Puerto Rico just cannot afford to have any more runs pushed across. The Dominican knows that. Chance to extend the lead here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
I know Puerto Rico doesn't feel this way, but that 3-0 lead by the Dominican Republic, because of their bullpen, I mean, it seems like 8-0 to me.
It will take an offense that nobody's found yet in this Baseball World Classic to come back in this game against this bullpen. 1-2. Runners off first and second. De La Torre's pitch will be fouled away again.
Gary, I don't think in the history of baseball there's ever been a better bullpen. There's never been one with the depth or the velocity that Tony Pena has. The only guy not available is Herrera, who threw a couple of innings last night and went over the 30 pitch mark. But Barris is down there. Strope was his 3-0 record. Of course, Casilla didn't pitch last night. That Rodney will be available again.
There's that plantain that Fernando Rodney had the other night. That is a plantain that he ordered up from his hometown in the Dominican Republic and had it shipped here. He said, "It is my lucky charm for the game." Talking about the last game, I kept it for the whole game, celebrating his 36th birthday. And he says, "I'm going to keep it with me for this game too." And he has. He's got it with him. Shipped here on Monday from Santo Domingo.
I think it should go into the Hall of Fame if they win this thing.
I think they should fry it up afterwards and eat it. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Sierra. Rice and beans and platanos, can't beat them. Tag put on. That's a strike. That'll retire the side. De La Torre comes on and gets it done.
I don't know if I'd want to eat that thing. There's no telling where all it's been throughout this tournament. There you go. Yeah. Send it to the Hall of Fame.
A souvenir there from fans for the Dominican Republic who are hoping their club's going to take home the hardware. The World Baseball Classic Championship. Rain continues to come down here, and Dotel will stay out on the mound as we go to the 7th inning. There's what it looks like for Puerto Rico.
Well, you don't see any runs. You don't see any RBIs up there. Feliciano with a nice night. He's walked, picked up a base hit. Pagan got the single to start the ball game, but the last couple at bats that he's had with men on base has not been able to do anything.
So for Puerto Rico, running out of outs to work with, they need to get it going. Here's Mike Aviles. Aviles 0 for 2 in the ball game, hitting over 300 in the Classic. It'll go to short. He's got the base hit. Dotel laid one in the middle. You can do that when you're up 3-0, and Aviles is on here in the 7th inning.
I'm a little bit surprised to see Dotel back out there. This really wasn't even his role when he was a younger man, little alone now as he's in the latter stages of his career. Kind of a long inning there. There was a pitching change that was made, and the last time Tony Peña's team had a long inning, he took his starting pitcher out of the game. A little bit surprised that there was not a change made.
That'll keep you warm and dry. Here's Alex Rios. Again, Puerto Rico with their 3rd hit of the ball game, not out of it. They've had the leadoff man on 4 of the 7 innings, but it has not allowed them to do anything. Can't get anybody moved around. They've stranded 4, the Dominican 5. That'll be inside from Dotel. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Rios 1 hit, 7 at bats in the games against the Dominican. One delivery on the way. That'll be outside. Big home run against Japan for Alex Rios.
It was absolutely huge. A hanging breaking ball up in his eyes. 2 pitches before that, he had the same kind of pitch. He was a little bit quick, hit the ball hard, but pulled it foul. Was able to be patient on that one, and clearly the biggest hit that he's had in this tournament.
Leading the Dominican to the 3-1 win inside. He didn't go around. Paul Hyam down at first base, the umpire. Rain picking up again. It's been steady, but had let up, and this was the prediction as to how it would be for the night. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Bullpen action. Pedro Strop warming up, ripped into the seats, and the count will go to 3-2, trying to get the potential tying run to the plate. Puerto Rico here in the 7th inning. We're at 57 degrees. The temperature, it's a little cooler, feels a little cooler than that with the wind chill, and the rain. The wind has moved around as it normally does here. It's blowing right to left. Now it seems to be blowing the other way and maybe in a little bit from right field. 3-2 delivery on the way, takes it, and he's on, and they will get the potential tying run to the plate, and the fans from Puerto Rico are up.
Well, the tying run's definitely not going to get the opportunity to hit off of Octavio Dotel. I'm sure that in the back of Tony Peña's mind right now, he's wishing he would have gone about this inning a little bit different. Going to give the bullpen as much time as they need to get ready. The bullpen's ready. They're standing there waiting. Are you going to make the move?
Pedro Strop's looking in. I'm ready. And move will be made right here. So Dotel retired the side in order quickly in the 6th inning. Will come out of the ball game an inning plus, giving up a hit and a walk, responsible for the 2-on. Rivera coming up. Puerto Rico making it interesting. So Pedro Strop out of the bullpen for the Dominican.
And that's been a really good sign for Tony Peña's team. His 6th appearance, he's not allowed a walk or a run as of yet.
2 on and nobody out. Puerto Rico's going to make a run at it, or try right here.
Well, he was kind of streaky last year coming out of the bullpen for Buck Showalter in Baltimore. He had more good outings than bad, had some rough spots, has not had one yet in the World Baseball Classic.
1-0 delivery on the way, and that is a strike. Pedro Strop, 4 years of Major League experience. Breakout year last year. 5-2, 3 saves, setup man. He had 58 strikeouts in 66 innings and a 2.44 ERA. 1-1 delivery. That'll be inside. Nice stop made. Runners stay. Ball got caught under the feet right there of Santana. We'll get a pinch hitter coming up probably for Gonzalez.
It's a big point in the ball game right here. You got a fastball pitcher on the mound. You got a contact hitter at home plate, and the count favors him.
2-1 foul back. 2-2.
You know, we've saw that once before when Rivera came up in the top of the 5th representing the tie and run, a 3-1 pitch. He chased a pitch that was out over the plate. He couldn't do anything with it, as he did once again there. You've got to know the strike zone.
27-year-old right-hander Pedro Strop delivers and foul back again. Strop wanted a little more follow-through in that delivery as he got it up a little higher than he wanted.
You know, it's amazing to me he throws as hard as he does, Gary, because it's not much of a delivery. I mean, he does not use his legs a whole lot. Everything just comes from that powerful right arm.
A lot of torque on that arm and shoulder.
Yeah.
Aviles and Rios get their leads. Here's the 2-2 delivery and got him on a called third strike. None bigger in the ball game to this point than that one.
Well, we were talking about what a big at bat it was, and really it was Rivera that put himself in the hole when he chased a 2-1 pitch. That's a big league pitch right there. Look at the late movement. It started out off the inside corner, two-seam fastball coming back to catch the corner, and just absolutely takes the bat out of the potential tying run's hand.
So Pedro Valdez is going to come on to pinch hit for Gonzalez. Valdez up, runners at first and second, maybe his last at bat as a professional player. He had already announced his retirement. They went to get him, said, look, we want you to play on this team. He said, all right. He said, I'm done when this is done. 23 years of pro ball, 18 teams, 13 leagues, 5 countries. His comment was, I've left clothes everywhere. 0-1 the count. They delivered to him. What a way to go out if he could pick up a base hit right here.
If he's going to get a base hit, he's going to have to earn it, because the last 3 pitches from Pedro Strop have been placed perfectly.
2 on, 1 down. Puerto Rico's probably not going to get a better chance to score than what they've got right here. And a timeout will be taken. The reason he's on the ball club, Edwin Rodriguez, the manager of Puerto Rico, scouted him when he was a teenager and got him signed to pro ball. Swung on and missed. So he comes on and can't connect, and Strop gets 2 strikeouts, 2 down.
The first 2 pitches that were called strike were actually pitches that he might have been able to do something with. With a count 0-2, Strop goes to the good hard breaking ball, and more frustration on the part of the Puerto Rico fans.
Just can't find that hit in this ball game, and nobody has against this bullpen. Pitch will be taken away by Feliciano, who has singled and walked in the ball game, the number 9 hitter.
I tell you what, I know he's a tie and run, but as deep as Tejada is right now, I might bunt for a base hit.
That's 2-0. Pitch inside. Strop not happy with that one.
There's a spot where you take a guy who normally is not going to hit for a whole lot of power, and you're going to increase the bat speed. That 2-0 count, he's going to look for a fastball middle in and swing as hard as he can.
2-0 delivery takes a first strike.
Oh, no. Ooh. I know home plate's going to be big, but Ted Barrett would like to have this call back. I mean, that's got to go down as an error on the umpire. That is not a strike. Oh.
Takes the count to 2-1. Obviously a very big pitch. Aviles at second, Rios at first, 2 away. Here's the 2-1 delivery. And he'll pop it up third base side. Tejada going back near that bullpen. Look out! And makes the catch! And went down hard. Miguel Tejada slipping in that bullpen area after he made the catch. Ooh. That's a pretty hard landing on that hip. But he got it. 2 are left on, and the Dominican Republic maintains the lead. 7th inning stretch time in our championship game. And the left-hander Xavier Cedeno out of the bullpen.
Obviously just the 9th game for Puerto Rico and already the 7th appearance for their left-hander. He's only allowed 1 run. He's picked up a save.
And Cedeno will go to work. Puerto Rican native. Breaking ball will be in there for a strike. Diaz a single in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Reyes and then Ibar will be due up. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Dominican. Luis Figueroa will come on to play at third base. Gonzalez was pinch hit for. And the 0-1 delivery and a foul ball. Little between inning activity. That's the pitch called strike that Feliciano couldn't believe, and the manager Edwin Rodriguez had a few things to say between innings.
Well, I could read Edwin Rodriguez's lips. You missed a pitch. You know, there's no denying that. I mean, you might tell him to be quiet. You're tired of hearing it, but you better admit you missed a pitch.
So Cedeno comes on and gets the strikeout. Daza retired, 1 away.
This is a perfect situation right here as a manager to bring in your best left-handed reliever. Piazza hits from the left side. Reyes is a switch hitter. Ibar is a switch hitter in the on-deck circle. And then there's a left-hander after that. So if you're going to use him, Edwin Rodriguez again picking the perfect time.
Here is Reyes. Reyes will shoot that one to the gap in right center field. That's going to roll a long, long way. Pagan going back to get it. Reyes being careful with the footing as bad as it is. Head first slide and a triple. A double and a triple, 2 for 4 in the ball game.
Just an unbelievable talent. 4 times an all-star. As Tony Pena said, he's the guy that turns the lights on for us. He's the one that gets us going. He did it in the 1st inning when he doubled and scored a run. He's trying to do it again.
That's hit number 8 put up by the Dominican. Their first triple. Infield is going to be drawn in. First triple of the Classic for the Dominican. And a chopper foul. Ibar with the RBI opportunity. Ibar's doubled, singled, sacrifice. A perfect night at the plate. See, 5 out of the 8 have been extra base hits for the Dominican Republic, and that's how you score runs. Ibar 274 left-handed, 336 right-handed.
It was really the same thing, yeah, that he did every year of his career. Just his natural side is from the right side. Learned to switch hit because of the speed that he possesses.
0-1 delivery to him, fouled away. He's just trying to get one up in the air here to get a run in with 1 away.
Gary, you called it as Reyes hit that triple. He knew when the ball got past Pagan out there in center field that he was going for 3, but he wanted to make sure that he did not fall down rounding first and second base. There's a glaze to that infield out there. I mean, the home plate and the pitcher's mound have been well taken care of, but that's it.
Rain continuing to fall. Here's the 0-2 delivery down to third. That is a foul ball. For a moment there, I thought Reyes was going to try and field that and forget that he was the base runner, and he would have been out.
If he would have been in fair territory, you're exactly right.
Juan Samuel, the third base coach, talking to him. 2-strike count. Infield stays in. Only one away. Runner, of course, does not have to go. 0-2 pitch away.
I was asking Tony Pena after he threw batting practice today about Jose Reyes, and he described him with 2 words. He said, contagious joy. When he's healthy, I totally agree with Tony. He's just a lot of fun to be around.
He certainly has been here in this World Baseball Classic. Just a ball of fire. 1 ball, 2-strike count. Infield creeps in a little more. And down the line and foul. For the Dominican Republic, their offense continues to produce.
It started right off the bat with a run in the very first inning by Reyes after the intentional pass to Robinson Cano. He too scored on the double from Encarnacion. Piazza with the bunt single eventually came around to give him the 3-0 lead.
4.8 runs averaged per ball game, hitting .291 as a team coming in. 1 ball, 2-strike count still on Ibar. And Ibar will pop it up. It's got to be played. Wow. That's a long run. A nice play made by Falou. He was drawn way in and had to back up a long way to get to that baseball.
That is not an easy play. You see where he's at right now, right at where the cut of the grass is. But he knew he had to go back and get it, just way too far for Angel Pagan to go. Able to go back there because of his speed and make the play. Along with the speed, the footing, the conditions, the rain coming down, making it even more difficult.
So the runner remains at third base, a big out there. Here's Cano, another RBI chance. He's picked up 6. 0 for 2 in the ball game. An intentional pass, has scored a run. The Dominican 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Puerto Rico tonight is 0 for 10 in that category. That has really cost them tonight. They've had their chances, just have not been able to get the big hits. Cano will foul that one away. Cano trying to establish the all-time batting average mark for a World Baseball Classic.
You know, right along with all of the hits that Robinson Cano has picked up, he's picked up a couple of walks. Here you mentioned the Dominican Republic hitting .291 as a team. Their on-base percentage coming into tonight was .366. The major league average last year was .319.
It's a big difference. That pitch is taken outside and a 1 ball 1 strike count.
They're just constantly putting pressure on you. I mean, they do not have a 1-2-3 inning very often. And when you look at the lineup, they shouldn't. They have big leaguers from top to bottom. They've got big leaguers on their bench.
There's no question they came to play. They were ready. They're getting eliminated by the Netherlands, the last World Baseball Classic, first round. They came focused. Ground ball towards second base. Falou will backhand this one, make the running throw, and will get the out. So a run not picked up there by the Dominican after a 1-out triple. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base, 7 complete. The championship game. Puerto Rico's got 6 outs to try and get back into it. Well, time running out, and their leader will be coming to the plate. Pre-game, Rick, looked like this.
It's always been Angel Pagan. He's kind of taken a page out of the book of Hunter Pence. You remember the outfielder doing that for the San Francisco Giants? Hunter Pence was a lot more emotional than that, but there's a message being told right there. And look at this. In between innings right now, Yadier Molina saying, hey, enough's enough. There has not been enough passion. We only have 6 outs left. Let's make sure that our pride shows and you give everything you possibly have for us to win this ball game and beat crown champions.
So Angel Pagan will be leading it off. Molina will be due up 4th in the inning if they can get that far. Teammate against teammate, Rick.
And you know those at bats are always a little bit more important. These guys are going to talk about this at bat for the entire regular season. We have seen it with Gallardo when he faced Ryan Braun. We've seen it throughout this postseason. This is a big moment right now for both of these teams.
Santiago Casilla against Pagan, who has singled 1 for 3. Tejada moves in at third, and the pitch up high, fastball. Pedro Strop came on to work an inning, got 2 strikeouts. Dotel worked an inning plus, had 1 hit, surrendered, and a walk. Deduno, the starter, nothing on 2 hits over 5. Being shut out here on only 3 hits, Puerto Rico. And that pitch is going to be up high, 2-0. Pagan coming up, clearly intending to force a strike to be thrown here before he's going to go. They need base runners.
You know, and I wonder too if Edwin Rodriguez getting into that heated conversation with Ted Barrett might shrink the strike zone of Ted Barrett a little bit.
Taking for a strike.
Casilla, of course, last year was the closer the first half of the season for the Giants. Picked up 24 saves on the 21st of July, but the day before he picked up his 6th blown save. That's when he became the 8th inning specialist, and Romo took over the closer's role.
Up high, and he falls behind on Pagan. 3-0.
I got to take a strike here.
3-1, I should say.
I still have to take a strike. I know that he can strike you out. He's an overpowering pitcher, but if they are going to give you something, you've got to be willing to take it. You can't swing at this pitch.
Gonna make Casilla think about it a little bit. Pagan stands out. Career high 95 runs last year, 174 hits. He had a tremendous season.
This is by design. There's absolutely nothing wrong with his pant leg there. There's nothing wrong with his shoe. He is trying to frustrate Santiago Casilla here and possibly get that free pass. You can't swing at this pitch.
Right-hander with a 3-1 delivery on the way, and he walked him, and it wasn't close. So there's one of the things that Puerto Rico needs to get back into the ball game. Another leadoff man on base in the game.
And that's really the only thing that's ever been wrong with Casilla, is that home plate will move around on him from time to time. I think right now, I mean, you know, if you're Falou, you've got to be patient, but you've also got to be looking for your pitch. If this is a fastball, center cut, middle in, thigh high, that's the pitch you swing at, nothing else.
Runner at first with nobody out. Falou waiting. He'll take the pitch for a strike from Casilla. Falou has grounded out to the pitcher twice and flied out to center field. Switch hitter who's had a tough classic. Barris heads down to the bullpen on the run. As we are in the 8th inning, the chant of Puerto Rico going up from their fans. Falou, the 0-1 delivery. That's a strike. 0-2.
Well, I think this is a perfectly placed pitch. He's wanting to come up on the inside corner, catching the top part of it, barely catching the inside corner. Falou had a pitch to hit on the first pitch of this at bat. He may regret not swinging at that.
0-2, a look over, no throw made. Casilla trying to continue the shutout here against Puerto Rico. They got shut out 2-0 last time around against the Dominican. Casilla checking his footing as the ball was down low. So the good play will hold the runner at first base. Dominican has now held Puerto Rico off the board for 21 scoreless innings. Dominican against Puerto Rico, as we said, the 2-0 shutout in the second round. It is a game that really didn't matter. It was positioning, but this one matters, and they've still shut him out so far. Falou with a 1-ball 2-strike count. Pagan off first base. That's it. He's gone. Tried to jump and make it a ball, but that's a strikeout.
Boy, that's got to be extremely disappointing, not only for Irving Falou, but for the team from Puerto Rico. He took 3 consecutive fastballs for 3 called strikes. Home plate has been big. It's going to be big all night long. He had a pitch to hit, and he did not take a swing at it. And when you're down to the final 6 outs, 5 now, that can't happen.
Talk about a night where you can't get a hit when they need it. 0 for 13 if there's been a runner on base for Puerto Rico. Beltran, if he's ever going to get out of it, now's the time. Puts it up in the air, left center field. Sierra coming over will put it away.
It's not going to happen, is it?
Nope.
You know, I debated on what the key for Puerto Rico was going to be tonight. Was it Beltran all of a sudden waking up offensively? I decided to go with the high five because everybody said that Alvarado had to go deep into the game. Their pen was not as strong as that of the Dominican Republic. Well, neither one of those things happened for Puerto Rico.
Starter lasted only an inning. Beltran's had an 0 for 12 in the 3 games against the Dominican. Runner goes. And that'll be into the seats off the bat of Molina. Molina 0 for 3. In San Juan, folks watching, they've not had much to cheer about. They've got the big screen going as the ball game's there for the fans to watch, but right now it's been all about the Dominican. They are at the Roberto Clemente complex, which is very close to the ballpark where the pool play was held in the first round. Hiram B. Thorne Stadium, not far away there. The Honorable Governor and his wife and the Mayor of San Juan all on hand with the fans. A chopper, a comebacker, right back to the mound. Garcia makes the play, and that's that. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Dominican 3 outs away from winning this Classic.
Dominican Republic up 3-0 right now. Going to Tony Pena before the game. What's the key to this ball game for you guys to win? He said we have to strike first. Well, I tell you what, he's a great leader, and they follow orders. It was Jose Reyes right off the bat, the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 1st with that double. After the sacrifice bunt, Edwin Rodriguez deciding to intentionally walk Robinson Cano, and that backfires on him. Encarnacion comes up on the 2nd pitch that he sees from Alvarado, hits it into the gap, an extra base hit, the 2-0 lead, and really the big blow of the game happening right off the bat.
2 runs in the 1st, another one added in the 5th, and a 3-0 lead, out hitting Puerto Rico 8-3 in the ball game. And the pitch will be taken down low as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Encarnacion with that big hit in the 1st inning, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Pitch taken down low. Only 3 outs away, a safe situation. Fernando Rodney is in the bullpen getting ready to go. It's a 3-dimensional view right there. 2-0 count. Encarnacion, and he will take that one for a strike. On the mound, Fernando Cabrera.
Really the closest thing that Puerto Rico has had to a closer. See the numbers there. He's been perfect. 3 saves and 3 opportunities.
That ground ball will go to second base. Flew up.
Clearly not a save opportunity, but without coming up with 3 runs off of Fernando Rodney in the top of the 9th inning, this will be the last inning pitched by anybody in the World Baseball Classic for Puerto Rico.
Rodney's ready to go. Tejada's going to get another at bat. Tejada came on to play third base for Ramirez. Hanley Ramirez, apparently with a thumb that he jammed a little bit, came out of the ball game. And the first at bat Tejada had in the 6th, he flied out. First and only at bat he's had in the ball game. Tejada up, 1 down. And he'll put a towering fly ball to right center field. Rios will put it away. 2 away, 8th inning. These players will be heading back tomorrow to their respective teams to continue spring training. but with lots of stories to tell. Pagan's already in his home ballpark. Trouble is, his team's not here. He's got to go back to spring training too. Nelson Cruz. Cruz with 2 away, nobody on. He's doubled, 1 for 3. And he will take the pitch from Cabrera for a strike.
You know, Gary, just thinking about this World Baseball Classic and the teams that have lost their players, I go back to what Bruce Bochy said before this thing happened. He said, it's an honor for these guys to represent their country. It would have been an honor for me back when I was a player to have the opportunity to do this. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, these guys have looked at it in that light. They realize it's so much more than a regular season game. It's so much more than just a playoff game.
1-1 delivery on the way, foul back. It has been the knock regarding USA. They have not had their best players, and they haven't. And there's constant friction between the individual teams and Major League Baseball front office. The GMs and most managers really don't want to see their star players go and play in the Classic. That ball put up in the air towards center field. Pagan is there. A 1-2-3 inning. We're going to go to the ninth. For Puerto Rico, it will be their last chance against a pitcher who's been virtually untouchable going back to last year and in this World Classic. He's got a chance for yet another save. Rodney, will there be another arrow out of that quiver? Well, you talk about domination in the part of the game that always matters most. The pitching for the Dominican has been unbelievable. 2 runs allowed in the last 43 innings. They have held Puerto Rico scoreless in the last 22 when these two teams have played. They have trailed in only 10 of 71 innings. The bullpen, nothing. 24 2/3.
Well, that's pretty much the story for the guy that's on the mound right now during the regular season a year ago. You think about the problems for Puerto Rico needing to come up with 3 runs here in the top of the ninth. Not one time last year did Fernando Rodney give up 3 runs in any one outing.
So he will try for the save. He is 6 for 6. He has had a save in each of the wins. The Dominican has been able to put up. They are 7-0 down to third base. Ground ball misplayed. Tejada tried to side saddle. It'll go into left field, and Aviles is on.
Thinking back on when Puerto Rico was able to eliminate Italy, eliminate USA, and eliminate Japan in the first game here in San Francisco, it seemed like it was always because they were given something. There was an error made. There was a base on ball. Something would happen that would ignite them. And to their credit, they in every one of those situations, they took advantage of it.
They get the leadoff man on again. It is not, that part of the game has not worked for them here tonight. Here is Rios. He'll take the strike. Rios with a couple of walks, and he is struck out. Puerto Rico down to the final 3 outs, trailing here by a score of 3-0. The Dominican trying to finish off what they came here to do, and that's win it all. Breaking ball will get away. Runner will stay at first base. Puerto Rico 3-0 in elimination ball games. Eddie Molina watching.
It's a changeup right here. I think if he would have caught it, it would have been a strike. But if it's going to be called a strike, you ought to be able to catch it.
Puerto Rico was 5 outs away from being eliminated in that game against Italy, bottom of the 8th inning, and he rallied to win it 4-3. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Down to third base and foul.
Thinking back on Alex Rios and the big night that he had just 2 nights ago with the homer and the base hit that he followed it up with. I go back to Miami when we talked about the extra batting practice that he took. On the off day, he came out to hit. On the final day, he came out early to hit. Sometimes it takes a while for it all to come together.
hard to believe those numbers you saw, the offers with runners on base and runners in scoring position, almost by accident. You're going to get at least one hit in those situations. Tonight, Puerto Rico's not been able to do anything when they've had somebody on base. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Rios. Aviles over at first. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that ball will be popped up shallow center field. Second base, Cano's got it. 1 down. So Rodney comes back to get the out on Rios. Bottom of the order, Carlos Rivera coming up 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Rodney, as you'll remember, pitched in the ball game last night. Came on to pick up the 6th save, only threw 13 pitches. That's been the biggest thing about him. If you're going to beat him, and very seldom are you going to do that, you've got to swing the bat. He just does not walk anybody anymore.
He's on for Casilla, who worked the inning. He had a strikeout and a walk. Pedro Strop an inning, couple of strikeouts. Dotel an inning plus, a hit and a walk. DeDuno stands to win it, the starter. No runs, 2 hits over 5. Alvarado, the starter for Puerto Rico, lasted only an inning, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits, and swung at one out of the strike zone. 0-2.
I don't think there's any question that if this score continues, and even if it doesn't, Robinson Cano is probably going to be the MVP. He has deserved it. But if it didn't go to him, you might just give it to the entire bullpen of the Dominican Republic. They've been so good.
Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that'll be fouled away. How about for Rodney? If you go back to last year, the last earned run against him was on August 14 of last year. The last time he allowed the earned run, 8-8-12. In a span of 29 appearances, including the World Baseball Classic, without surrendering an earned run. Wow. Do they ever hope that's going to continue into the regular season? 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Even though the American League lost the All-Star game a year ago, Rodney came on and had a 1-2-3 inning in that affair. You might have thought that turning 36 years of age as he did yesterday would have changed something. I don't think it changed a thing.
1-2 delivery on the way. Got him. Rodney gets the strikeout, and there are 2 down in the 9th inning.
I don't think he's thrown a breaking ball this entire World Baseball Classic. I didn't see one in Miami. I have not seen one here in San Francisco. That looks like a left-handed curveball, but it's actually a changeup from a right-hander. There's just so much arm speed there. There's so much rotation to that baseball. That's what creates that late movement.
So Luis Figueroa will come to the plate for the first time in the game. Came on to play third base. 2 down. And down the line and foul. The Dominican Republic looking to run the table here in the World Baseball Classic and go 8-0. And Rodney with a save in all but one of the ball games, and they are ready to celebrate.
They are, and you know that defensively every one of those guys wants the ball hit to them.
Swing and a miss. They may not be able to have one of those. Rodney may take care of that himself. 3-0 lead. 2 down. Fans of the Dominican Republic on their feet. Luis Figueroa with a runner at first, the 0-2. And that will be fouled off. Rodney with the 0-2. Figueroa waiting. Runner goes. Ball will get away. Making the turn and will stay at second base. Aviles. Defensive indifference. No stolen base on that.
You know, Gary, we talked about it right off the bat in our open earlier tonight. Tony Pena saying that the guy that turns on the lights for our team is Jose Reyes, and he did it again tonight with that double. And he also added that the guy laughing as he said it that turns out the lights is one strike away from doing that.
1-2 the count. 2 down. The delivery outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Encarnacion, the 2 RBIs in the first inning. Added another in the 5th on the RBI double by Ibar. 3-0. Pitchers haven't given up anything. No runs, 3 hits by Puerto Rico. Rodney, the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Mission accomplished. The Dominican Republic, the World Baseball Classic champions.
It doesn't always happen that way, where the best team wins. But it did in this tournament. From the very beginning, the closest thing to a complete team was the Dominican Republic. The offense was there. They scored a ton of runs. The defense was there. They did not allow an unearned run. The timely hitting, the power, the speed, and the experience. Tony Pena was absolutely perfect in how he handled the lineup, particularly that second spot in the order, and what he did with the bullpen.
Tough one for Yadier Molina, who led this team for Puerto Rico. He's bringing them all out on the field to congratulate the Dominican Republic, taking a page out of the National Hockey League book right here. After you battled, you come out and give credit to the opponent.
I have goosebumps all over my body. What a tremendous gesture on the part of Yadier Molina. He led them to this opportunity to be champions, and he's proven once again that even though in defeat, he's a champion.
There are the 2 managers, Edwin Rodriguez and Tony Pena. They are very good friends, sharing a hug after the ball game. And the Dominican Republic has gotten done what they came to do. And credit to Moises Alou and those who helped put this club together. A balanced team. Fewer long, hard swings, more contact hitters. A great bullpen. It was all planned. It wasn't an accident that this ball club came together the way they are. And they really dominated play in virtually every game they played in.
Gary, I know you feel the same way I do. This World Baseball Classic has been even more than we hoped for.
I think you get 2 natural rivals like this coming against one another. You really add to it. I mean, people got a chance to see the Caribbean flavor of baseball, what it's like in the Winter League and the Caribbean World Series. The passion of the fans, not just the players, but the fans that we've seen that have really been an important part of this World Baseball Classic. Here's the final out.
Everybody wanting that baseball hit in their direction. Fernando Rodney saying, guys, I don't need any help. I can take it from here. And I've got one more arrow in that quiver that I'm going to send off. And there he is. I mean, that smile that we have seen from the very first day that he got to the big leagues. And why wouldn't you smile if you're Robinson Cano?
Reyes said he's never had more fun playing baseball than he's had in this Classic. Ran right into the middle of the pile. 3-8-1 for the Dominican Republic, and for Puerto Rico, shutout 0-3-0. Deduno, tremendous start. Alvarado did not get a good start, and Rodney will get the save, and the whole team will get the plantain.
There are a lot of people, there are a lot of Hall of Famers that never got the opportunity to say that they were a champion. There's 28 guys out there right now that will always be able to say that at one time they were the best in the world.
And I think Moisés Salou was right when he said, if you understand the passion of the game in the Dominican, the players on this team will be heroes forever. I think in the U.S. it's kind of liking it to that great hockey championship that a U.S. team had, and forever their names became famous in sports history, and these players for the Dominican, it'll be the same. Now the post-game ceremonies will be taking place. There'll be an MVP of the entire Classic and the awarding of the trophy. Fans staying through the rain to be part of the celebration of the Dominican Republic here at AT&T Park in San Francisco. Just moments ago, they unfurled the flag and took it out to center for a spin.
I just can't help but think, as I look at that, how a team could come from 4 years ago. You could not get any lower than the Dominican Republic team was. They were embarrassed. The people in the Dominican Republic were so upset that they would let a team like the Netherlands beat them twice and eliminate them in the first round. As low as they were then, it's impossible for them to get any higher than they are right now.
Here's Robinson Cano. Even though he had an 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight, he ended up with a .469 batting average for the entire Classic. That is a record. The highest batting average in WBC history was by Frederic Cepeda for Cuba, who hit .449. And a .469 has been put up by Robinson Cano in this Classic.
Well, and of course, even before tonight, he had the all-time record for most hits at 15. He had the record for most total bases. And to me, this changes a lot of things for Robinson Cano. He's been called an all-star before. He's been called an MVP. He's been called and is the best second baseman in the world. To me, this takes him to being a living legend as far as the Dominican Republic is concerned.
There you see the 15 hits, 25 total bases, both records. 6 extra base hit, third most overall. Jose Lopez and Jorge Cantu of Mexico, 8 and 7 respectively. And now the new batting average number for him. Both teams still out there on the field. First base side, Puerto Rico is lined up. The Dominicans on the third base side. Pagan going over to offer his congratulations. Moisés Salou. And the runner-up, congratulations to the team from Puerto Rico being recognized as they go up on the stand. Like the Olympics, medals are being awarded.
I really think, Gary, that's the biggest surprise, is what's going on with Puerto Rico right now. There was a lot of people that didn't think they'd get out of the first round. There were a lot of people that didn't think they would get out of Miami. Most people thought that they would lose to Japan in the first game here in San Francisco.
Closest to you there, putting the medal on, Ricardo Ficari, who is the president of the International Baseball Federation. Tony Bernard is in the middle. I think that's Frank Robinson, isn't it, over there on the right side?
I think that's Tony Clark right there in the middle.
Oh, Tony Clark's in the middle. I'm sorry. And then trying to see Frank. I didn't know he was here, but standing off to the right with the baseball cap on.
It sure is.
Sure is.
How about that? Just another thrill. Just to be able to shake the hand of Frank Robinson.
Frank here representing Major League Baseball, along with Tony Clark and then the International Baseball Federation.
Gary, you make a great point about how hockey has always done this at the end of a playoff series. Everybody acknowledging what each team and player had accomplished. I hope Major League Baseball learned something from this. When Yadier Molina came out there, I got more goosebumps watching that than anything else I have ever seen in a World Series, an All-Star game, or a World Baseball Classic. What a tremendous gesture and example that was. I mean, this is all about getting more kids to play baseball. That's the way you want to play it.
Yeah, I agree. And sets a great sportsmanship character to the game. You got the primary parties who make this World Baseball Classic possible, awarding the medals. That's the International Baseball Federation, the Major League Baseball Players Association, Tony Clark represents, and then Frank Robinson representing Major League Baseball. Frank going, move over, move on. Now the Dominican Republic.
Los campeones de este Clásico Mundial de Béisbol del 2013.
You know, when you think back on everything that the Dominican Republic has done to get to where they're at, it truly was a 28-man team effort. From the very beginning, when Moises Alou got them together, he spoke. Tony Pena said what he had to say. And that's when Robinson Cano says, there's something I want to say. Several other players got up there and explained what it meant to them to be there. And then Tony Pena went around to each one of the guys and said, why are you here? What is the reason that you're here? What do you expect to accomplish? Why did you decide to be a part of this team? And to a man, they've talked about how emotional it was. And they truly did. They came together and they got contributions from everybody. I mean, the bullpen, we know that it was the strength, it was the roots of the team, as Tony Pena talked about. The starting rotation, they got just enough. But from top to bottom, the balance that they had in that lineup and the bench that they had to contribute, it was all there.
A very well put together team, and they performed as expected, which, as we said, doesn't necessarily happen. Final time together for the team from Puerto Rico, teammates for the World Baseball Classic, and now they will move on, many of them to play against one another in this upcoming Major League and Minor League season.
You know, Gary, the game of baseball is a lot like a heavyweight boxing match. You're going to get hit, and you're going to fall to the mat. And it's just a matter, do you have the ability and the pride to get back up? And I remember on the 12th of March when Puerto Rico got devastated by USA. They lost 7-1. They lost in every phase of the game. They got hit. They were down. The referee was going through the 10 count, but he never got there. They got back up. They won 3 straight elimination games. They beat Italy by 1 run. They beat the USA by 1 run. They beat the 2-time defending champion Japan by 2 runs. They got back up, and they have a lot to be proud of.
Yadier Molina, their leader, saying goodbye to all the fans on that side of the field, cheering for Puerto Rico in this game. And I think the final gold medals being awarded. Robinson Cano, coaches, manager, getting theirs. And there's the trophy.
And I think we just saw the picture that we will see all around the world tomorrow. Robinson Cano holding up that gold medal.
Tony Peña is going to receive the trophy.
De campeón del Clásico Mundial de Béisbol al manager de República Dominicana, Tony Peña.
That right there makes me think of the Stanley Cup.
Guys, clear out. Clear out. If I ask you one more time, you don't move. I'm on the air right now.
And Robinson Cano is the MVP of this 2013 World Baseball Classic. So he won the MVP award in both of the first two pools, and then the MVP award overall for the entire Classic for this championship team.
There's not a bigger trifecta in all of baseball.
You know, holding that trophy up, championship trophy, some of his moments.
Well, there's so many to choose from. It seemed like every night he was doing something that had never been done before. The last 4 or 5 games that he's played, he's continued to set all-time records. You're going to see a lot of the things that he does offensively here in the highlights, but he was every bit as dominating on the defensive end of it. And I really thought the key moment tonight in the ball game early, when Doduno was struggling, having problems with the mound, it was Cano that came to the mound and said, wait a minute, let's get this fixed and get back on track. And they did.
The confetti being dispersed and the players for the Dominican staying out on the field to celebrate. So the World Baseball Classic 2013 over. We will wait another 4 years. Much to be learned by all of the teams, and certainly the MVP. Trophy in one hand for the MVP and the plantain in the other.
You know what, Gary, I agree with what the players have said. It has been an honor to be a part of this. It was good back in '06 when we had the opportunity to do it. It got better in '09. It was absolutely terrific this year in 2013, and we too applaud the team from the Dominican Republic for what they've done.
And a special thanks and applause to the fans. I think they have really contributed in all of the venues to make this 2013 World Baseball Classic as successful as it has been.
And not only the fans that came to the ballpark, but how about the all-time records that were set from the viewing audiences? Unbelievable, the attention that this World Baseball Classic was able to create, and you just know that 4 years from now, it's going to be even better.
All right, that's going to do it from San Francisco. For Rick Sutcliffe and all of the crew, we want you to enjoy some of the moments from all of the games that were played in this World Baseball Classic. And in 4 years, we hope we'll all be around to do it again. Till then, I'm Gary Thorne from San Francisco. Adieu.